Ugly afternoon for the market right across the board. Yeah, that's all thanks to Powell. If you're just joining or jumping on a little bit late this afternoon, he goes to Washington and says basically higher rates are here to stay, and not only that, we're probably going to go further with rate increases than everyone expected, and they're going to hang out for quite some time. So there you go, 1.5% right now for the S&P 500. 1.6% for the Dow, the NASDAQ there or thereabouts, 1.14. Pretty red, top to bottom. Yeah, big move down in crude as well with this move in equities. Obviously, if interest rates are going higher, that's going to limit the ability for people to spend money on other things like travel in cars, obviously. So demand for oil lessening. 1.45 for a very red S&P 500. Maybe highlight the green here, and that's about it. These are the airlines, AAL, UAL, Dow, and Alaska here, all positive on the day. 3% for UAL leading the way. AMD, very lonely afternoon up here in the semiconductor group, standing out as positive on the day to the tune of about 2.5%. ON Semiconductor down there, also nicely higher on the day, about 1.25%. But you can see tech under pressure. It's actually the banks that are leading. Not a single positive name right now in the financial sector, the entire thing in the red. Same story for the healthcare group. Oh, I lied. There's one, DXCM, green by 0.6% right now. But you can see the rest of the group very much under significant pressure. Real estate stocks downside, materials downside, utilities as well, all significantly lower on the afternoon. There are a few from the retail group trying to hold on to positive territory to the tune of about 1%. Home Depot, however, 2.25 downside. GPC, Dollar Tree here, ORLY, AZO, all getting crushed. Dish up on a positive note this morning, 5.25. Take-Two, 1.6% there in positive territory as well. One of those days, I mean, when the overall market tends to lead and the overall market is in focus, obviously the rest are going to follow to the downside. Hope you've stayed safe this afternoon. Hope you've done pretty well today to the downside, put some shorts on, taking advantage of this momentum that we've seen today. Because guess what? There's more coming tomorrow as well. He's back again tomorrow to make more comments and hopefully give us more tradable opportunities. We were wondering this morning if this was going to turn into a bit of a non-event. Turns out to be pretty much downside right from the word go today. A lot of talk on employment, a lot of talk on the unemployment rate, where that might go as inflation starts to dwindle and they continue to raise rates across the board. If you missed it, I'll bring it up as we head to trade of the day here. But the Fed funds tool now signaling 50 basis points to come in March. Remember, we get the next Fed hike coming up on the 22nd of this month, a week after the 14th, when we'll get the next reading on inflation, which will be CPI. Anyways, tons to talk about. Hope your afternoon's going well. Let's go. We'll jump back into a few things that were moving around out of the gate this morning, some opportunities that were available to you, including one from Sean, who's having a heated conversation with Fahad right now. But hey, let's surprise him, shall we?
Welcome, traders. It's your trade of the day, and today it is brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you can scan that QR code below and start your journey today. Look, it's going to be a very, very simple one. We had a very important meeting today, Powell at the Senate. Let's rock and roll. So you're going to look over here. We're just going to look here. The NASDAQ today continues its move to the downside. Just recently, it's really started to get extended. It was a pretty choppy day, you know, when Powell came out, went back to green, well, almost got back to green, made another move down, and we're continuing that right now. Look, the one name I want to talk about is we traded Google really well the last couple days, and I just want to show something. So this is a 2-minute chart. Sorry about all these wicks, just couldn't clean them all up and get that going. But what I want to focus on is a few things. We said, why would a trader want to be in position heading into Powell's prepared speech to the Senate today, right? So that comes out at 10 o'clock. So you're going to see right here, if you go up, We first started going long off 95. Why did we base out at 95 long? Well, this was an idea that we had early until Powell came out, right? So we wanted to buy this yesterday bottom, which was VWAP all day yesterday. And in the afternoon, we just noticed that it wasn't breaking until the very end of the day. And even when it broke, you saw Netflix down $10. You saw Meta down $4. And what did Google do yesterday when it broke? It went down 14 cents and barely broke 95. It had to break it at the end in the post market. So we know Google's strong. So what we did early was buy out and get them out, 50 cents, 40 cents, and we did it again. Now, the important thing to notice here, and if I could zoom in, you'd be able to see it better, but the point of what we're getting at is right there. We went long at 95 again, just to test. Hey, we're going long like 95.10. If the Powell came out, the speech came out, and was great signs, boom, we know we would have had a great long, and we could have brought it all the way back up to the upside. Instead, it's an instant out, like bang. It comes out, it breaks 95, and we just get out instantly. This is why it's the trade of the day. 95 goes all the way down to 94, and guess what? Net pop, not in it, so we don't have to worry. But look where we went back into. We waited very, very patiently. We had this exact trade yesterday. We had 94 long yesterday. So as it's falling down, we say, okay, let's go over to the strongest name that we could think. I mean, there's going to be other names, but we trade Google every day, and we knew it was strong. So it comes back down. Look at all this. There's like 4 or 5 executions there where we just got long. We got long at like 94.20, 94.15, 94 again, because this was the trade that we wanted. We're here to make trades. So back into 94, as long as we held that 94 bottom, we were good to go. And then you just see the acceleration to the upside. All these outs, 95, getting some out VWAP. Anyways, where you get out at that point, irrelevant. And I want to go back to what's happening right now. So we get out, that's fine. Comes back in, guess what? We're reloaded again at 94. So that reload right here at 94 gets it back up. We get some out at 20. We get some out at 94.40. Then we try it again. Comes back. We still have a pretty full position. So we just buy back the same 20% that we got right there, and look what happens. It breaks 94, and we are out, and that is that. So Google's a very, very high stock profit-wise for me today, and the reason why, we're wrong. We buy it there, but because we know and we're prepared to get out at 10 o'clock, our stop order hits, we don't have to worry about this move down, and then we're sitting there with empty hands waiting for Google to fall in. When it does, boom, we're there. Give it to us, give it to us. We buy all these 94s, get them back out to the upside, comes in again, we try it, gets them out, and then we fail on the last push. But look, this is why not only do you have to have a plan, but you have to trade your plan. And when you do it, it can be the trade of the day.
Yeah, great moves all over the place this morning to take advantage of if you haven't done so yet. Make sure you grab that every single day. Absolutely free for you. Scan that QR code, enter your email address, just like Fahad did there, and you can have the watch list for free from us every day. Before we come on at 8:30, that comes out. Here is what I was mentioning to kick things off. The CME Fed Funds tool now pointing to 70.5%. This is in favor of a 50 basis point hike versus just 29.5% for a quarter hike coming up in a couple of weeks. So what a difference a day makes. This was exactly the opposite this time yesterday, ahead of Fed Chair Powell's comments. But sticky inflation, all the rage these days, and higher rates for longer, and a higher terminal rate was really the comment that kicked off the selling today. Yeah, that was Meta there. We'll talk about that because, hey, it's still positive on the day, one of the few. 0.1%, but yeah, nice look for Meta, still positive on the day. But this was what you need to know this afternoon anyways. Higher and possibly faster and a higher terminal rate coming from Fed Chair Powell today, guys.
So the market doesn't necessarily like a higher terminal rate. I don't know if you guys know that, but I actually just got out of Meta. Oh yeah, positions are up there. So I'm actually in Apple right now off the low, but I feel like I want to be back over to Meta because I got wicked out. And look, I liked 184.50 this morning. There was one shot to kind of pick it up, and I missed by a couple of pennies there. So I got long a little bit earlier in front of it. I wanted the fills beneath 185, but then it just ran the lows, and I tried to jump back in. So I think there's a chance that this is a good level for a hold on Meta. Just maybe go to the 15 minutes to show you guys a little bit better here. This is the level I'm talking about. Like this is, it's going to be worth a few cracks, and if it does travel and hold beneath a 184.5, I think Meta can be in some trouble. At least for this afternoon. I mean, it's been a strong move up, but you got a double top, and now you're putting in a bit of a double bottom at that 184.50. So I want to take another crack at these lows for the long trade. It is still positive. Ooh, Apple's starting to creep up there. Are we talking? We're going to talk about, yeah, we'll probably talk a bit about big tech just now. But Meta does look like it wants to make a decision here. Like, I don't think we're going to be sideways in this 50-cent range for the afternoon. If we break down, I think there's something to be captured. But I'm looking for the long right now in Meta. Matter of fact, I'm going to get some in right now because I don't want only Apple.
Yo, what's up there, everybody? Thanks for coming back and joining us, man. We had a great time this afternoon, and I mean that's what's all fun and games. I mean, I see some chat on there, you know, about Fahad and I and Neil and Brendan. It's just a great time. We have a great, you know, bunch of cast of characters here, and I think that's what really, you know, makes it work for all of us, right? And I think that's awesome, and I want to thank everybody for coming back. So Meta cuts. Okay, so I actually could have used Meta as the trade of the day as well. And I mean, the thing about Meta was I just had one clean in, and it was just right here, right off that bottom. I chose Google to really load up down there. In hindsight, again, you know, one thing that we could have done, obviously, was gone into Meta. Meta, I mean, I talked about Google being the strongest name, but realistically, Meta bounced from 185 all the way to 188. That's $3 straight. All we got on Google was $1. But still, it's, you know, double the price, double the fun, double your pleasure, double mint gum. So if anybody works for, you know, that was a pretty good commercial right there. It's kind of out of the blue.
Who chews gum
but
anymore?
I don't know. Wrigley's. Like juicy fruit.
Juicy fruits. That's going to move you.
And if you look back, it is going to move you. So the taste, that's going to move you. But right here, just 85 again yesterday, held pretty good. So again, none of this stuff is rocket science to me. It's you go long, there's the 85 bottom. Me and Neil both talked about this earlier on in the day when we did the first show at 8:30 into 9 into 9:30. We talked about waiting for levels. And unfortunately, I was just, not unfortunately, it's very, very fortunate that I was loading up on Google. But Meta, I'm glad we got it. But again, it wasn't a full position. We took it for $2. That's 186. That's at 187.50. So that right there is a banger trade, and we're happy to make it. And there's many more where that came from, starting right now on Amazon. And we'll talk about all that as we go. But I really like Meta. That 185 was cash, and there's going to be some more trades coming. So I really liked that one. We're going to wait to see what happens now as this NASDAQ trying to catch a beat here at 12.2. Let's see if it can get above this level. That's the 50 period. We'll see if we can get a little bit going now. Looks like the market's trying to wake up a bit.
Yeah, holding up a little bit better than the rest, at least at this point, which is a bit of a surprise. We kicked things off today with big tech in mind simply because of the fact that how sensitive they are to higher rates. And if we're getting, according to Mr. Powell, higher rates for longer, that should be a bad thing. But overall, it could be a lot worse here, guys, for all of these.
It could be a lot worse, but let's not pretend that it's a great day. And I want to get rid of this wick on Apple, but this will have to do. I'm going to show you that's a 15-minute. We're going to talk some big tech. Apple was probably, you know, one of the strongest names you would have seen yesterday, but it had a bit of a gap, right? Like there was this little gap between 150, 152. You get the run to 56. That resistance didn't come into play. Unfortunately, I think it would have been a good level. But now you've got this test over and over again off these lows. And this is the third time that we're testing this level. So Meta off the bottom, you know, Apple off the bottom. Actually, Meta doing a little bit better right now off of this low. Like, I mean, Apple goes 10, 15 cents off this bottom. I think there's a chance to do a little bit more than that. And we just already talked about Meta, so I don't want to go over it. I am in one short from this morning. It's going to be Intel. If there's a mistake I made, and there's no question, it was one. Every single time it got up and tested 26, I did have it, with the exception of when we were sitting in a meeting. You can't really do much of anything about that, but this stock is getting absolutely crushed. I'm not looking to reverse this long. If anything, I might look for a re-entry into the short side of this position, but I think the market's bouncing, so Apple and Meta, I like to the long side.
Oh, man. You don't worry, Fahad.
I'm sorry, man.
Right now,
I can't.
I can't. I mean, this is what I'm talking about here. As we continue, man. Thank you to everybody. We're having a great time here on a Friday. All right. Now here's Amazon right now. Yeah, I know it's only Tuesday. We're gonna hope that
what day is today?
Every day is Friday. Why not? Okay. Big tech. Okay. So Big tech rates. Yep, got it. So yeah, big tech and rates not working out today. As the interest rate continues to climb higher and higher, and we have longer, higher rates for longer, that's not going to work for many tech names. And yeah, it's just, we continue to go short on Amazon right now. The funny thing about Amazon is, now that I look at this, I mean, I've been looking at it, and we're long again right now. We just loaded it up. We talked about that we'd have some more. There it is. Yeah, we loaded it up short. Was that Amazon is actually outperforming the market today, like by a large amount. So I'm gonna get a piece out here in the mid 80s if we can. But we were short again, and here's the final countdown right now against VWAP and against that high of Amazon 94.20 or so right there. We're gonna use that as our out. But here we go. We're starting it up now. We've got Amazon. It's on my mind, and yeah, if retail, first of all, the consumer credit card debt at all-time highs right now. We talked about the interest rates, right? The terminal rate, so on and so forth. That can't be a good sign. Are we really willing to take out loans and everything like that to shop at a place like Amazon? There are going to be a lot of consumers that are well capitalized. I mean, Bank of America came out with and stated that there's more funds now in consumer bank accounts, or I guess retail, than there was pre-pandemic. So I know that there's been a lot of saving happening, and especially with travel just getting back, there's been a lot of, I guess, consumers that have saved a lot of money because they haven't been out there spending. Maybe restaurants may be on a decline and whatnot. And Amazon has really caught a lot of that wave, right? I mean, when you're sitting at home, all you're really doing is buying stuff off Amazon. And so let's just wait to see where we go from here. We were really picking flowers early on this name and then got out, and then eventually it broke higher, so we weren't part of this. It was a well-traded stock, but right now we're back into it against this. So it's so far so good. We've made money on Amazon today. I think we still want to keep shorting this one, but look at the magical level there, 95. I mean, that came right there, and it came again. So, I'm looking at that 95 level as an ultimate short if we do get back going. But for now, we'll hold Amazon. It doesn't look like the NASDAQ wants to get going today. We were up 1% yesterday at this time, and we finished flat. So let's just see what happens. We're bouncing off 12.2 right now.
All right, it's Twitter Day at this Morgan Stanley Tech and Media Conference that's going on this week. So apparently Twitter making some comments right now at that conference saying they could potentially earn 15 cents an hour if ads are improved. So heads up on, we can't trade it, but hey, cool. SI, we were discussing this morning simply from the standpoint of if we needed a short, might be good to short something that's kind of weak, right? On its way to, or potentially already nearing bankruptcy. 2% here. Downside, guys. Every bounce has been shortable, but I mean, this is a 15-cent range or so, 20 cents, I guess, top to bottom here for SI.
If you need a short, SI is the one you can call on. Except we didn't short it today. So I don't even, every single pop is good. It's like, this is like Bed Bath & Beyond was recently. And I feel like, you get looking at other things that, don't get me wrong, there were fantastic shorting opportunities today. I'm not complaining about that. It's more along the lines of, hey, focus on this, because even if it's only 25, 30 cents, it's gold. Because every single pop, just wait for it to make an obvious top. This is the morning high, 550, 560, 560. It does a wick top through 550. Like, what more do you ask for? If it goes 5 cents, back beneath, short it. Same level, short it. And do it until it stops working. One day, it's going to squeeze. You will get squoze, but you'll have made money for time after time. Cyndi Lauper, that was a good joint. But my defense is I was in love with the 635 level. I thought there would be enough juice to get it up there. It never happened. So moving on, you got to respect the fact that we can be patient. A couple of things. I did grab some out of Meta here, so not to change topics, but I don't really see a short. If Silvergate gets to 550, we can talk about shorting it. But Meta just checked up here, got me some out at 185.50. I want to be buying some more dips in Meta. Apple's trying to go as well. But Silvergate, short the pops until it stops working. I just feel like that's a recipe that's gonna be okay. And Coinbase, I like 65. As said, we're kind of in a meeting in the middle of the day. I'm not going to put a trade on sitting in front of a level on Coinbase, but 65. It looks like that's going to be a good level to go short in front of if we get a bounce here on Coinbase. Down 0.5% right now. I don't know if we get a chance at that one today. great, stranger things have happened. So I suppose if it goes $3, I'll have a trade on on Coinbase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We can look. We can look at some. We can look at some crypto right now. I don't know why my. That's because it adjusted here. Let's just have a quick look at some of the coins that are popping off today. I mean, Brendan will do a crypto segment, but let's just look real quick to see. So Bitcoin right now, not doing much in 24 hours, only down 1.1%. So I was actually expecting, with the DXY moving the way it has been moving today, you broke well above 105. You're at 105.50 and actually at the top right now for the US dollar. So I actually thought Bitcoin would have been in a little bit more hurt than it is right now, and it's not really moving. So I feel like that's a good sign. We can check the chart, but I did, man. It's not doing anything, so I just wanted to do a quick rundown. Ethereum as well, only 0.9, not much happening. Brendan brought this to our attention earlier that Ripple was up 2%. That could be a money transfer thing. I don't even know what OKB is. Man, I've been out of this game for a bit. But yeah, right now, crypto not doing a whole heck of a lot. So for me, I still think the story is true. Here's 10X, by the way. What's up, 10X? I'm still in that trade, like as if anything's happening. Coinbase, didn't it go for a run earlier today? Right there to $65. I mean, we can look at a day chart here for that $65 mark. And as you can see, I still think the short is in and around here, 70. Nah, I'm okay for now. $70 right there. Thanks, Professor. But that $70, $71 there for Coinbase, I still think comes into play. I think Coinbase is done, and I don't, not that they're done, but with all the SI problems, I don't know, I throw my hands up, and I just feel like I only want to short these things.
And wave them side to side?
We'll wait to see. Yeah, put your hands up, wave them side to side, like you just don't care. No, what am I missing? I'm missing, there's a line in there. But anyways, yeah, throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Yeah, exactly, and then there's more to that as well. You know what, there's a house party movie I saw on Amazon.
There's a remake.
They remade it. It has Maya in it.
There better be a cameo. I want to see cameos in that from like some people from the original.
We started watching, and I think I was like into an hour. Then I either fell asleep or I was like, nah, I'm not about this. So
I had that cameo back in the day, the Kid and Play.
Oh, you mean that cameo?
I rocked that joint.
I thought you meant because there's some cameos.
I did mean that. I want to see some cameos in that. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if anybody saw that, put in the chat, but anyway, shout out to House Party Kid and Play. The good thing was they do that, that dance with their feet, and they click their feet back and forth. I saw that part. That was pretty wild. But anyways, okay. So I just think Bitcoin, Coinbase, and so on and so forth. I still look for the short. You're below VWAP right now. You're also below the 200 period. It is looking like we want to break lower. I think today I have bigger fish to fry with some of these NASDAQ names. But Coinbase, yeah, good day for it. I'm actually surprised it's holding up. I just would have thought, with all Powell's talk, that we would have been south side. So I feel like it's a good day for Coinbase.
All right, Rivian back on watch as well this morning, downside in a big way, continues that way as well. What an ugly day. It was about 13%, I think, at the bottom after this, 1.3 billion on a bond offering. So Rivian, Randy's here. Rivian needing some cash, apparently, to the tune of 1.3 billion, guys.
Okay, so Rivian is, where the heck's my sticky note? It's on here, and if you're not, hard to see. But anyways, it's on there. Thanks, Brad, for doing that. We're going to have to just short Rivian, and that's exactly what we did. We talked about that bond offering, not well received. Needless to say, you're down 12%. We started the day short. As soon as it broke that 1580, which was the pre-market bottom, let's go Amazon. Nice move to the downside right now. Yeah, nice move down again, and we're still in this. So the problem is, Neil, it's not breaking $15. So it's bouncing off of here. I'm still in a piece. This could have been the trade of the damn day, but Rivian downside, we reloaded it there when it broke 1550. I don't do this enough, and that is that join the winning trade and add to it. So we were confident Rivian was going to the downside. We put it on the sticky note early. We paid for shorts. We hit the trade. And when things work out, I like. And that was a good one. Rivian downside. Purple is shorts. That's a short there. That's a short there. Those are covers, and we're still in this bad boy. Let's go Rivian. Just like Puff Daddy, we're bad boys for life. And Rivian really needs to get this figured out because from one Sean to a next, this one's in trouble.
And quite frankly, they're making another one of those bad boy movies too. So Rivian, I look, just very quickly, because it's at 15 right now, I said I would go long in front of 15. When it happened, I did get the long the first time. We'll see about the second time here. It didn't breach 15 even. So I wasn't able to really get like 01s and 02s because I thought it was going to break 15 at that moment. But then I grabbed the long at 15.05. They got all the way up to 15.40, was able to take profit on it, and now it's testing 15. So I think it's likely to break this level. However, I'm not going to hold through the break. I'm going to get out on a 15 break. If it does end up holding 14.90, I can always get back into the trade. So yes, as a day trader, sometimes you're risking like 3 cents, 4 cents, something along those lines, because that's the risk to reward I'm looking for. But there could be a bigger trade where you give it some more room, like 5 or 10 pennies, to look for a 40-cent move. And that would be it breaking the level downside, not getting to like 14.90 or so, catching a bid, and then trying to get the long on the way back up. So that's the approach I'm going to use here for Rivian. Stop out underneath 15 and then look for that re-entry point. While that was happening, Apple, little break of the bottom, essentially out flat, but it's actually a 12-cent hit there. But that was really tight to the bottom. It was at a big support level. Meta's the only one holding up right now. So Meta actually was able to bring the register and get some out of Meta. Now it's right back testing a higher low. So this is still established. I'm going to go, I don't have to use my 15-minute chart for Meta because I don't have a wick on this one. But I'm right back on the bid in front. I was able to scalp some out. Now I'm looking to buy the dip on Meta. It's still green on the day. If something's going to hold up, it feels a little bit better than an Apple. I do have one short on, and I'm looking to short some pops. But right now you're testing those lows. So I feel like Rivian is almost certainly to be the next trade for me.
Forward product. You got to watch them.
Randy doesn't have a mic, but Fahad's getting one. We were just talking about the F-150, the Ford F-150 Lightning, and the fact that there's no range, apparently. Anyways, the reviews have not been good. I was just noticing this, guys. Tesla, a little bit of volume. I was trying to find, I don't see anything on this, but Tesla downside here pretty hard, back below 190, once again on decent volume. I mean, the whole market's coming off a little bit, but we were wondering this morning if Tesla was going to be a long at some point, and I guess you could have taken a shot there from time to time, but not much as far as news on Tesla today. I mean, we were talking a little bit about the Mexican plant this morning. They're saying next year it's going to be producing cars.
That's optimistic.
Yeah, a little aggressive.
I would go batteries first.
Yeah.
But if Elon can pull the rabbit out of his hat, like, why not?
Yeah.
If the Model 2 is coming, and South America is a market they haven't really penetrated to a large extent.
Yeah.
Go Elon, go.
I mean, this guy's talking about yet another gigafactory, and we were just saying Rivian can't seem to put a truck together.
I've seen one Rivian on the road. One. And you've seen
same.
one.
Same.
You've seen a Lightning on the road.
Yeah,
I've not.
Yeah.
And Ford's got production Lightning halts and problems, which is a threefold problem because the recall is going to cost them a fortune. They're not producing vehicles, which has cost them a fortune, and it hurts their reputation.
Yeah.
1.4 billion in recall costs since
Unreal.
the start of the year.
Unreal.
And we're only in March.
And we were saying, you know, like a truck like that, and I'm sure there's maybe some people watching, you know, in the southern states of the U.S. where there's tons of cattle farms, there's tons of, you know, horse farms, and a ton of space where people need trucks. Like something like that would be a no-brainer if it would have a little bit of range. But apparently you put any kind of load in it and it just destroys the battery.
So yeah, I've been reading a lot of reviews on the magazines. I won't name who they are, but you start towing and you start putting weight in the bed and you start, you know, working this truck and the range starts to disappear pretty quick. So their notion was that if the thing had a 30%, this is the R1T in reference, had a 30% bigger battery pack, you'd get that usable work out of the truck.
Yeah.
If you're hauling concrete or hauling animals or hauling whatever you're hauling, boats and so forth, that they need that extended range to make it compare with your diesel and your gas pickup trucks and whatever you're driving now. Ford needs to get those Lightnings out the door ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, Rivian, same thing. I mean, they can't seem to, as I said, put a truck together. I want so bad, I said this on the show last week, I want so bad to like that idea and like that that company in the truck, but it's tough. The rundown, guys, brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on this desk by everyone you see here and everyone pretty much in the room.
Except me.
See what's moving. Randy uses Trade Ideas as well. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description. Trader TV 20 gets you 20% off. Shout out to Trade Ideas as always.
I don't. No mercy. The best. Okay, so everyone. Like you talk about Randy using trade ideas. I don't know if that's true or not, but the good thing about it was Randy, and this is a true story. I mean, Randy can confirm this. This is not speaking out of line. One time I was talking about with Randy after the show had started, or after we were off, and me and Randy just shooting it out there, and he said to me that. I said, wow, did you see Tesla today? Like it was down $10 or maybe it was up. I don't know what it was. And he said, yeah, on my way in, driving into work, he told Siri to execute a trade for him.
I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this.
And it was Tesla. So there you go. So it's kind of like, he was like, oh, I don't want to say it because I don't know if it'll work. And my account's not hooked up, but, it would be like, hey, blah, 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 buy 100 shares of Tesla. And I thought that was pretty cool because he had done it on the drive in.
He knows his stuff when it comes to the autos. Like we'd be looking at the European market,
yeah.
And all of a sudden, like Randy he'll start talking about Volkswagen for 20, 30 minutes. That's why we like to bring him on because he gives you a lot of
go
good
like that
insight.
and he's like right there.
Well, he also creeps behind sometimes.
Creeper.
Yeah, he's a bit of a creeper.
And he's all about the jorts. The jean shorts. So not yet. What does it have to be about Celsius-wise? 10? 10, 15? Yeah, so that's like, let's go with like 50 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that, to wear the jorts. But nothing wrong with jorts. I mean, my guy Fahad is sporting a great brand new pair of track pants today. It looks very amazing. I mean, I'm really thumbs up to that guy. And it's more jealous. Like, I think we should just wear track pants because honestly, it's just about like this part everybody can see. Who knows what we're wearing? Well, I guess when we do the trade of the day, they can see that as well. Are we talking about Tesla still? Okay, let's talk about Tesla
We're
real
not
quick.
even...
Right now.
There will be no jorts. There will be no...
I'm in the Friday zone right now.
There'll be no... You know what? You're getting a little bit of a bump here in Rivian.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're making... Well, like I was telling you guys about this trade, like if you're trying to take fills at 1s and 2s, then... And you're going to get out at the even, then I'm going to get on the offer. I actually put some midpoint in there so I can catch some. Come on, where's my super midpoint? We have a key that's called super midpoint. But like this is what I was trying to get.
Secrets away.
You throw. I just put offers in at 5, half, and 6. It was chilling up at 5, right back into 2s and 3. So that's what can happen. But I'm just looking for a nice little pop in there. 5s, 10s. I have an order from 28 when I had this a little bit earlier, but I'd be pretty happy if we get like 5, 10, then 10, and then see some 15s in there. I'm only going to risk 3 or 4 pennies on this, depending on slippage, which I expect to be 1 cent. If it's 2, it's 2. I don't think it'll be anything more than that. But this is like a day trader special. Like just get right in front of the size, which has not moved. And if it breaks, and you're willing to take the hit because it's a good risk to reward. So I wouldn't go short down here. I feel like you'd need to see 15 break anyways, or maybe short a pop would make more sense. 15.40 was a good level earlier. I don't know if you're going to get a chance at that one again. I did reload Meta as well. So in front of the bottom here, I think there's a decent opportunity. It can hold the low. I got wicked out before. I don't mind making a bottom wick because when you go counter trend, I'd rather make the bottom wick than hold and then just get there, struggling, hold through that level, and then don't give up on a losing trade. So I have no issues making the bottom wick when you're trying to pick a bottom. That's what you should be willing to do. And then lastly, I gotta go to Coinbase here because we talk about flat bottom breaks from time to time. This is not that clean of a flat bottom break.
I'm really glad that you coined that term because Coinbase.
Well, I mean, Coinbase.
Ooh.
Fahad. Okay, first of all,
wow,
Sharif.
Now you're calling the man Fahad?
Well,
wow.
First of all, because usually when I'm talking trash, it's to Fahad. I'm just saying.
This is getting real. Now the professor he's out of here now. All right,
you know what was up. So everyone's like, okay, when I called him a clown yesterday, before you guys didn't see this, on the midday show, there was some talk of football. I'm talking about soccer. And Sharif is an Arsenal fan, and his dad is a Liverpool fan. And I'm a Liverpool fan. So we had a little back and forth about, why don't you support a real team? And, he gave the explanation to why. So I was just ribbing him a little bit. And that's the problem. You guys don't see a lot of the back and forth. I'm not trying to be mean. I love Sharif. But at the same time, he doesn't support the right football team. So he has to hear it from me. And that's just how it is. I don't care. I'll fire that shot all day long, Sharif. Like your dad has the right idea. Your dad has the right. Stop talking. Your dad has the right idea. Liverpool forever.
The professor's out of here.
End of story. As the professor just leaves.
The professor's just out of here. He's just like, that's it. He's had enough.
He's
left. I was wondering if you could see it over. Oh,
he did just take off
over your shoulder there. What's up to everybody? Yeah, we're just
Give me the
playing.
fill on Rivian.
He is young? Oh, that's nice. They think you're young, Professor. That's great. Okay, so as we go here, guys, let's just get back a little bit to trading. So Neil was just talking about picking up some meta off the bottom. I think that as long as you have support at the bottom for these levels, I mean, that's essentially how you have to. I apologize. We didn't really go over too much Tesla other than with Randy.
Tesla.
I don't have a trade on Tesla today, nor do I think you do. So we'll talk about it in a minute. But what I wanted to get at was, and not to say that picking bottoms is right, but like I think we could collapse here into the close, man. So that's why I said that as long as you're at some key levels, like maybe a meta is right now, I'm not even really looking long. So my mentality right now is the other way. I'm only going to be looking for shorts. And with that being said, I feel like I don't have the greatest short, but like Amazon right now is 20 cents in the money. So we're trying to diamond hand this thing a little bit. We still have like 70% of this trade on. It's rate coming back into a level right now that it sort of has resisted. I mean, this is what we're doing, man. We put out a tweet earlier that we were picking flowers. This is what it looks like, purple flowers with the stems here, and then eventually some sort of a hurricane or something happened, and then we got out of that, and their flower garden's all messed up. But right now we're doing it again. We plant those bulbs, they're starting to grow, so the roots are starting to come in, but I still feel like we got to get some more out. So let's bid something at 73. It's going to have to run us over to get filled. I should just use the paid gateway there to get it, but let's just keep going. There it is. Did we get it filled? No, we did not.
Oh my God,
we're bidding ARC or whatever, so it's going to have to go there. It goes go right through us, and there it is, still coming to the downside. I feel like Amazon just turned red right now. There are weaker names. If you know of a really weak, Weight Watchers, we've seen that before
it's up 60%
as well.
Right now.
Thank you, Cristobal, performing surgery on the markets. That's kind of a good way of putting it. That's how I try to operate, to be honest with you, is like take small little pieces here and there and make that. So, what's up? One trade that I really liked was this one, Microsoft. Oh no, I fixed those wicks before. All right, so Microsoft, all right, you know what, Neil? I'm going to fix this wick, and then we're going to get back to it. But I had a great short on Microsoft that we banked out, and then we took, and it was, this one again could have been trade of the day as well, where I got the last 20% out for flat, but I wanted to show this. So I'm going to clean these wicks up, and we're going to go back to this. But for right now, I'll pass it back. I like your idea on Rivian. That would be another bottom pick there at 15. I mean, if it breaks, it breaks, obviously.
It's so easy.
Yeah,
it's so
we know.
binary.
And that's the other thing. When trades like this are structured, like, I'm still holding this short, but realistically, if I get out of the short against 15 and go long, there's 15 or 20 cents there. You could do it again, and then there's, again, another 25, 30 cents there. You're right back in this. Sometimes I think 1, 2, 3 times the charm, but either way, it's very well structured, man. You go long 3s and 2s, you get out, even if you got out 6s and 7s, that's 1-to-1. And then, if you hold anything for higher, so I'd sort of take that back on, I don't take anything back. It was just, if you're gonna look for longs, stick in this type of trade where you have a bid, the bid is there, and you can take it over and over again.
Yeah, and speaking of a bid, Weight Watchers WW has a bid here. It's just breaking a pretty monster level on the, well, it's not a monster, it's a decent level on the daily chart, 635, 650. This is kind of that spot, like the first spot where I would think there's a bit of a turn. I like to dip buy in this morning. No need to go over that because it didn't really do a dip. So if it is going to make a turn, it's getting very parabolic. And when I see a parabolic move into a key price level, the first thing I'm thinking about is a retracement. If you get a break at 6, fair enough. But my thought is always, okay, is there a little mean reversion type trade where I can get 45s-ish? Why am I actually at 45? There we go. Sometimes I say it all the time. It's like sometimes you put an order at 44. It's just a little better. It doesn't really matter. So I want to give to just above the high of the day. I know where the risk to reward is going to be, and I'm going to get to Rivian, back to Rivian in a bit of a second, because I'll tell you what's going on up there. They're not filling the offer. It gets to the first point where all the scalpers who are long 1s and 2s want to start getting out 5 and 6, and it's not filling anybody. So that tells me a little bit of something about how weak that stock is overall. I still have my out, but at the end of the day, that's a pretty weak stock, given it won't give you the fills. Now, if we turn from here, I'm looking 30s, quarters, 10s, and into 6. Not all the way to VWAP. This is super strong weight. I'm just going to call them Weight Watchers. You guys know it's technically WW. I can't get used to that. So Weight Watchers on one. They're making an acquisition which is to get them in, I believe it's some kind of a drug or whatever. But either way, being received very, very well. I'm just not looking to chase along up here. I think I want to play a short. If there's a dip buy, I don't mind the longs off the $6 level. I'd be much more inclined to be able to take that trade. And then just going back, I want to quickly go to Coinbase because I didn't really finish the thought on that trade. If it does break down 61.5, I'd look for that short. If it gets into VWAP, I'd look to be shorting off the VWAP. But Weight Watchers is on my mind.
All right, so I cleaned up the chart there. Yeah, good talk, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Trade. We actually had a question earlier when we did something early for an Italian bank early this morning, and they said, how do you build your watch list? I mean, my answer is really just Brendan, but the real answer is our watch list, watchlist.tradertv.live. Make sure you sign up for that. Brendan, Neil, everybody does such a great job with that. So I want to thank everybody, Sharif as well, if he didn't quit, of course. But, that's one thing to look at. And another thing is, volume like that, news, activity, buyouts, little things like that. Okay, you know what? I'll take another piece out on Amazon right now because, hey, now we're 30 cents in the money. Just put a bid out, got that. This is what I was really proud about for Microsoft. So, again, sometimes it's stock hunting, right? So this is not going to be a name that's on the watch list or anything, but we really realized that Microsoft was weak. And then in this drop down, there's the Powell talk, right? And then since then, you had one break of VWAP right there, and that was still kind of in the recovery period. So you had to move down. This is where we went long, bumped up, so you are going to get overextension because everybody's like, where are we going? Where are we going? Is this market going to blast or whatever? But then it came back to VWAP right there, respected it. Then it came back to VWAP right there, and both times went down nicely. So I was like, you know what? I'm looking for a short. We found one right there on Microsoft at 255.60, 270. Against that, 75. I was like, you know what? If I could take this with 15 cents or so worth of risk, look what happened. Our first take is 15 cents back to 50. Then that's down to 30 again. Look at Microsoft just drop. That's 15 cents. That's 30 cents. This is where I take that surgical move, right? Back down into 255 flat, we get a piece out. Then we're like, oh my gosh, this is really working. This is all in a matter of 10 minutes, by the way, or maybe a little bit more than that. But there it is. We get out at 254.60, and then we just set it and forget it. Now, this is going to be a mistake. We should have got out when we broke the 50 period, but we get out when it breaks VWAP back up to the upside. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 1. So we lose on our last 20%, but we put Microsoft in there, and the cash cow that is Mr. Softy continues. And obviously we get blown out, but look where that top is again. Just another teaching moment. Support, resistance, technical analysis. I didn't really use technical analysis too much in my trading. I mean, we always did it, but now for the show, I find it so much more important just to explain and understand what's going on, especially when we're looking at so many names. And then here's Amazon. It just fell right in. And again, it just made a pretty dramatic move. It was at 80, right down there. We took that bid at 65 when I saw it. If it can fall back down into 93.40, I'll be there for that as well. So hopefully we make a move back down, and we'll take a fill somewhere in between here. But right now, it's Amazon downside. It's the short that I have. And then I know Neil's looking at it. We're both looking at it. And you already talked about Rivian, but that's a no-brainer for now. Okay, so another trade here. I can just...
No, I want to go to a couple of things here.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll talk about Alibaba on the way out.
Weight Watchers just broke out, so I'm out of it. I had my stop just above the high of the day. You're always willing to make the top wick. I don't want to hunt back looking for the retracement till it tests like a 7 even, but I want to take little shots at this because it's in the range now where it makes sense for the retrace. I don't like chasing these names. That's just how I want to go. I did say Coinbase a couple of ways here. It looks like it might be the breakdown, and that could be the next one in terms of looking for a short on something that isn't at the low of the day. Coinbase is kind of set up for me, but I don't want to ignore, we haven't really talked about the chips. So, okay, fine. We talked about being a meeting. I threw a stop on NVIDIA. It was great shorts this morning, 28 down to the bottom, tight stop there, tight stop, and then we go to the meeting, come back, and it's like the 241 held like an absolute charm. NVIDIA was one of the names that had that support that it had that resistance up top that it just felt like it was right. But I wouldn't step away from the desk without a stop. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think NVIDIA here, Rivian's on my mind because it's back down at 2s. I think NVIDIA has given you now 2 big false breaks at the 240 level. So it tried yesterday, it tried today, it failed each of these back to the low. So yesterday it failed it through the low. Today it fails it back into the low. That is pretty weak. That just tells me that there's a lot of profit takers that are running away when they get an opportunity to, despite the fact that it looked really strong in the recovery. This is a short back into that 235 level. I know I'm in Intel, but I didn't hesitate to have both these short this morning, and I'll go back to it on the next available pop that we do see. Just got to be able to respect the fact that it showed you that it wanted to continue making lows after this. And speaking of Intel, this is actually getting really ugly on the stock. It's double bottom at 25.50. Ooh, kind of missing some wicks in there that clearly obviously happened. But a double bottom at 25.50. This is on its way to a test of the 52-week low. It's just happening. So I want to be short this every single day that I find a resistance level until it gets there, which I think we have plenty of time for. I'm looking for a reload in the 65 range. This is where I think the next curl can be. That was the bottom this morning. Support turning into resistance. You guys probably understand that theory. I love it when you're looking for a trend, but it hasn't given me the pop to get back into it just yet. But I don't want to shy away from having this and necessarily having some NVIDIA as well.
So I just tweeted out, and it was like, oh, maybe I'll hold this until the very end. And then, of course, we just get another piece out of Amazon.
That's why.
So we just tweeted this out right now. Could get ugly this afternoon. Remember yesterday? Let's see if we drift all power hour. We're almost in power hour right now. And we will hold this Amazon trade until we get closer to 93. So let's wait to see if that can happen. The only thing is we just got to 59s or 60s there. We took another piece out. So yeah, we took another piece out right there. Hopefully it comes back in and then we can wait. I still feel foolish. I'm going to put something down here at 93.40 or so. But remember, the market's really going to have to fail for this to work on Amazon because Amazon's been stronger than many names today. So let's just go back to the well and look again. We just did that Microsoft example. Let's have a quick look at its brother here, Apple, and have a quick look to see where this name is. Of course, it's always nice to see when Apple's starting to head downside. I already said that rhetoric this morning, and people said, don't give the Chinese any ideas. I mean, they already have all these ideas, man. And I really am nervous for the TikTok ban and for what that could mean for mega cap names like oh man, again, another wick in there. Big cap names like in Apple, you mentioned Nike, Starbucks, all those kind of things, Tesla, so on and so forth. But there goes Apple, man, straight to the downside. Look at it bouncing off this 50 period. We need to at least get back to here, which makes great sense. If we can get back in the 70s here for Apple, it's just too bad because if I had shorted Apple instead of Amazon, right now we'd be $1.50 in the money, and Amazon's just like hovering like in the money, an amazing 40 cents. But Apple's still some nice downside pressure right now and looking like it wants to continue. So is there a trade here for Apple, you say? Good question, Sean. Let's have a look. Right there, so 151. Wow. Just like that rum that you like, Neil, this is coming right in right now. 151.
Ray nephew.
Yeah, exactly. Get the good stuff if you're going to go for it.
Well, that's not really the good stuff.
Nah, the 151 proof is the hard stuff. But, if you like it like that, then there it is right there. Anyways, here it is. We could break through 151 and then basically head to 150, and then you make a decision at that point. So this is going to be a good level. It's only 151.40 right now, but I feel like I can even push that. Even if Apple comes in, I don't even mind pushing that level. And what I mean by that is just taking the fill, like getting 150. 150.99 and then just going short on the break. But here we go, man. We said hold on to these bad boys. It's working out so far to the downside. Oh, I have a long. It's going to be pretty much, we lost on Roblox, so we will have two losing stocks today, but one of them is 10x. The only 10x I knew before today was the coin that I had, and I think it's worth nothing right now. There was a coin. You guys might know that 10x coin. I thought they were going to be like the Visa card of crypto. And that worked out real well. But there it is. We had it early. We got some out. So everything was rocking because we got in early. We got in at 7:30 this morning. And then it was inside out, 86s, a couple of 84s out right there, and 85. So 85, 86, 84, 84. But then once the market opened, well, that's actually still 9:10. What am I talking about? We got one fill as it came right in. And then this is what happened, man. The market opened and they're like, oh, yeah, about that. It just cranked right down. And thankfully, we weren't so stubborn to average in to this trade all the way down. We waited for that pre-market sort of bottom that we had before we broke. And then we took that long. And then look, it did bounce back to 70. My average price at this point, I want to thank I think it was J something in the chat. My average price was 75 by the time I got this fill. So then we wind up getting out at 63. It sucked because it was an early trade, but as the market collapsed, this 10X had basically no, I don't know if it had a choice or not, but it just kept on going to the downside. And as you can see, volume since then has been so dry. It kind of sucks because I was waiting for a 66 fill to make a little bit back. So we still have this long, that was just what was left over. I had the wrong, I got out there, so that's the out there on that break. So we broke through 64, and then we tried another small long, and then we were like back into it. So that was just a small out. But anyways, it's a negative stock, 10X, didn't go. We were trying to 10X our net, and instead we got about minus 2X or something there to the downside. So a nice move. But hey, you know what's still working? I said hold on to these shorts. I just wish I had a better one. It's Amazon downside. I'll deal with what I have.
Yeah, you have to. I'm back into WW. I can call it Weight Watchers. I can call it WW. It doesn't really matter. You guys know what's up. But I did want to get to Snapchat because this is a stock that bears mentioning because I think it was Beat Fanatic was just talking about support on this on the 50 period, sort of the 200 period on the daily. If you want to know why, like I was in the long too as well. It was a 200 period just sort of sitting underneath for support, and that's the entire reason why I had this trade for the long side. And it's right back here right now, so I get it. You got Meta down here, you got Snapchat. I almost felt that Snapchat would get a little bit tighter to that bottom to try to give us an entry point, and it really hasn't gone down there. Like money fills kind of between 50 and 65, if that makes any sense, like a little bit tighter to where it was before. And then we go back into that same long. It hasn't happened just yet, so I found myself in Meta because it's a little bit closer to the bottom. I don't really have another reason for doing that, but except for the fact that Meta is in that target range where I want to be getting the fills, and I'm just not really seeing that yet in Snapchat. It could get there. I think there's every chance that it could get there. Just not really there yet. I think it'll be an opportunity for us. If that's a flat bottom break too, like if it takes out 1050, it can easily be a reversible trade. So I want to respect the fact that it can be a reverse. I just saw another wick top there in WW. I keep saying Weight Watchers.
I thought
WW.
it was Weight Watchers.
It is Weight Watchers.
So what's the problem? Why?
It's not actually Weight Watchers. It's something.
Oh, it's WW International.
Yeah, whatever.
That
it's
is
called.
what it is. I see it here.
It's just I don't want to call it that because it's too much. But it just did another wick top, so it's probably trapped me in the short again. If it does break out the high here, it looks like it's about to take it right now. Oh, they just wicked it again. Does it even want 7? I don't know if it wants 7 at this point. It feels like it's trying to test that 7 level. I've already taken it one time. I never want to short the same level 3 times. So I feel like if it doesn't go here, it needs to be beneath 650. I'm crossing way up just to make sure I get a fill if this cracks that 7 level, because this one's now breaking to the upside. There was, and someone, shout out to the chat for mentioning that apparently another station was talking about the company that they acquired. So I think that's the reason why it's getting this bounce. It might need to settle down after, sometimes you get that bump. I don't want to call it that bump, but it is the CNBC bump. And I feel like I got trapped in the CNBC bump just now. Weight Watchers, it just now went through $7. So congrats if you got this one. I think a short is incoming in this, and we'll see how many times I have to crack at it.
I mean, I don't even know what you're talking about. Is there another station? I don't know. But, okay, I just want to say quickly, thank you so much here. TJ, you know what? Where can we get, I'm not going to say you're tweeting at me, but this is more for Brendan and Neil as well. Where can we get I'll just say as in all of ours, personal opinions on the state of the economy? Where do you think we go here from a macro perspective? What about if we did a podcast or something like that? Put some ones in the chat if you guys want us to do a podcast. Maybe we'll do a little bit more work for you, and we'll put a podcast out. And then we could talk a little bit more about our ideas or something like that. And we could do that, because if you guys would support a podcast, maybe that would be something. But we got stuff to do, and we're here for you. But let us know if that's something that you would like for us to do and go through. Maybe we would do something like that for sure. Always looking to add more content and things like that to the stream and to the channel and for everybody, because we're really super passionate about what we do here. So let us know if that is something that you would like, and then we could have on special guests like Fahad.
I think everyone would like to see Fahad's opinions on it.
Yeah, exactly, and we could get his opinion on, because now that he's no longer CEO of Veru or anything like that. There we go. We already have. I mean, the ones are not stopping right now. So thank you so much for that. You think Neil and I are, we've been friends for a long time. We could go pretty ham on a podcast. So let's wait to see if we do get that done.
Topic.
Thank you so much for all of that. And I just wanted to see,
Rivian's
because
break.
we had some talk about that. Rivian looks like it wants to break, according to Neil right now. I will go over that again. But hey, you know what? what?
Money, 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 money.
Let's go. So it's a nice little money trade right now as we do some money dance here for Amazon. So again, I said let's hold. We have enough shares that we don't necessarily have to hold till the cows come home, but we just got some more outs there, man. Well, you saw me take the out at 50, then we just got an out at 44. Unfortunately, that was actually sitting there, that bid. Why was it sitting there? Because that's exactly the spot that I got my last, like my best fill. So I was actually sitting there from before. We're now gonna hold for it. Look, the NASDAQ was only down 1%, and I was like, I'm no longer going long. Let's just hold some of these shorts, see if we can print it. And my kids are watching Simpsons now, but he doesn't say eat my shorts anymore.
I haven't seen Simpsons in 10 years.
That's what I mean. So
I
I
haven't seen it
don't.
in 10 years.
We
I
just
have
started
no
watching
idea.
some new ones because they're more topical. Like, you know, we watched the other day one of the best episodes, and it's from season 4, I think it is, and it's very, very situational. I don't want to put you on the
Meta broke the low.
Meta broke the low. Anyways, Mr. Plow. That was a good one, man. No, only because of all the plowing that's been happening around here. Barney
I have
goes,
a sore spot with the plows.
Oh, the plow. Oh,
I told you, like,
the
it's
plows in your neighborhood, you mean? Oh, I think you meant the episode.
one of the best things. Like, it's good not being on a through street because A, your kids can play, and it's never busy on my street. However, we're literally the last street in my city to get plowed.
That's why you need Homer there.
Like literally the last street,
when
and
you
it's
need a
it's a
plow.
complete gong show. So it was the other day. If it wasn't a weekend, I wouldn't have been in here. Meta just broke the low of the day.
bro.
So you're now through that low. I'm out. I'm into the short. I wanted it to break that support level. While that was happening, however, I might have made the top wick on Weight Watchers, and I still think that $7 level is the one. So we're out of Meta. I wanted to be able to show you guys that. The bottom pick does not work out for me on Meta, and Rivian's about to break the bottom too. So it's been testing. I finally got a fill. It did enough of a pop to give me a fill up there. And then I reloaded at ones. This is a simple play, ones to fives to 10s to 15s. But if 15 breaks, you got to get out of Dodge. And right now, 15 is on the verge of breaking. It is short sell restricted, down 12% on the session. That means like longs can cover here by hitting the bid, but you can't go short by removing liquidity unless you get an uptick. So it's about to go. It's going. I got out. And did I get the short? Nope. So the thing about it is, like, you're not guaranteed to get the fill short. Like, you're going to get out because you can hit the bid. Like, everyone can get liquidity at 15 and 14.99 and 14.98. However, because it's short sell restricted, you need an uptick. So, like, I can say a reverse, like, this is a good short, but it doesn't matter. Like, you can't actually get that fill without an uptick. So you'll see I got out, and there's me throwing an order to try and reverse it. And there was liquidity at 98 because I was able to cover at 98. I just couldn't get short at 98, and you can see how quickly that went. Now, on the way back up, I don't need to have that one in there. If it's going to, I said if it holds 90, I would look for that quick jailbreak long as it tries to recover and then give that to low of the day. So that's going to certainly be in play for me. But at this point, I feel like that quick little scalp was free money. You're just not guaranteed to get it. So as a day trader, this is one of the things that's just par for the course. You got to be able to respect it. Meta, 184 has got a, it's not a huge bid, but there's enough shares at 184 that maybe I should be taking some out because that is a flat bottom level in front. And I can't tell you why Intel doesn't want to break 25.50, except for the fact that Intel at even dollars always has a bid. Evens, halves, quarters on this stock, they tend to be significant. There's 25.75. It had a bid there on the way up. It had a bid there on the way down. 25.50 is a quadruple bottom right now. I think it can break. We'll see. If it does break, I think the trend just continues. Meta's about to break 184, so it's pretty much imminent. The market, by the way, did we say 4,000 went?
No, I wasn't even watching the ES.
Yeah, so the ES, 4,000 went. Just if you're watching levels like this, okay, so you've got, I want to call it Monday, or what day is today? It would have been Friday. Sorry, yeah, this would have been Friday afternoon support, I think, that 39.75. So there is like 10 handles from here, possible support in the market. But until we get there, let's respect the downward trend. Yeah, Weight Watchers might have gotten away. It's now down at 667. I don't want to chase that one short. I feel like we took a couple of cracks at it. It had to be perfect for that third time setting up. But this market's now flushing. The quick reverse scalp into 184 did just work on Meta. But this is not free fall on Meta unless it breaks 182. Like at this point, like you're going the longs, it's trying to hold support. On the reversal, it probably has $2, maybe even $3 before it's a real free fall. It's just looking at the gap fill on Meta. It's got room to run. I didn't get NVIDIA. I didn't get Coinbase. I mean, Coin, I just feel like maybe I should just get in Coin. Like I want Coin to break 61.50, but the trend's pretty solid. I can just short the next pop as well. I've been waiting for it to get back up to VWAP, but that's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, so, oh man. Again,
not moving,
hit the like button for sure. Hey, what's up, Katrine?
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Hola. Yeah, look, that's honestly, look at Rivian.
Money, money, money.
I mean, stand up, Sticky No Nation. Like, honestly, stand up because,
such an
like,
easy break.
if you guys are part of Sticky No Nation, then you're probably still short with me right now. We put Rivian out right there, 17, even the 1550 we all could have had. We talked all about it. There's only 4 names on here, and Meta's not on there, sorry. Rivian, there it is, man. Straight to the downside, just straight pressure. Boom, boom. And that's, we talked about that, and that's the danger of something that is SSR. It is hard to get the short when that falls out, right? We also did mention, man, no more longs the rest of the day. So I think we've saved ourselves a little bit from that because I do like some levels. It's just sometimes they sort of get trumped a little bit. Yeah, Meta's going to be a good one. So I will take a piece out if we get above 65 right there. So, we've already done real well to hold.
Yeah, this is a bounce.
We've already done real well to hold this, guys. So, this may be the bounce right now in this market. So let's just watch out and be very, very careful with what we're trading right now.
Yeah, like that. What told me, I kind of said under my breath, like this feels like the long now. Like that last wick down, I saw 184 on Meta. It took out the low of the day. It immediately found the even dollar and said, let's just go giddy up. And it just levitated back up right to re-entry, and it looks like it wants to break. Tesla's starting to make a big move to the upside as well. Like, look at the bounce in Tesla off of 188.50. Like, this is a pretty strong move into the upside. If I'm going to short something, it's got to show you that it's relatively weak. Even Coinbase, yes, Coinbase is not moving. That's a weird one, man. That one doesn't want to seem to go anywhere. But I think the big moves were in Tesla. I just saw Meta as well. NVIDIA, I'm going to back off 235, at least having an order out in front, and allow it to drift into this consolidation. Like, if it gets all the way up there, fair enough. I don't really have any concerns when it comes to Intel. Forget about that. And then just back over to Rivian. No bounce at 1490. Obviously, I would like to have that short. I don't know if you're going to be able to get enough of an uptick to get the reversal on Rivian. One general rule, the number of times it tests an even dollar level, I tend to say like past 3 times, you're not going to like it as much. The first time was great. The second time was okay. The third time was pretty good. The 4th time it tested it was when it eventually broke. And quite frankly, that's one of those things. You want to make sure you grab it every single time. If you get it every time, then you've paid yourself out more when it eventually breaks. That level like that is only going to come every now and then. Like, you're not going to see that every single day, nor get 3 or 4 cracks at it. I just wish I had grabbed that reversal. There was liquidity there. It just, the uptick rule is what it is. Like, it's there for a reason, or whatever the reason happens to be. I know what it is, but you don't always like it as a day trader because, quite frankly, it means you can't get the trade you want, but it is there to prevent complete capitulation in stocks, although it's not really working today.
No, it's not. And not on a day like today for sure, as this market is pretty wild, needless to say, as we wait to see where this market wants to go. And we already talked about our little strategy here on Amazon and how that was going to work out, and we just took a piece out, unfortunately. We said we would sort of hold all afternoon, but again, we're not doing that. And that's not really our style, but at the same time, I want to get more short, and this sort of is allowing me to do exactly that now, right? So we'll see if we can get a little bit more here for Amazon, especially if we get back to 94. So, we're still on this. But again, this little bump up should give us a pause for concern a little bit as you're bumping right now to this 50 period. So, this is a good opportunity to maybe look for a short on something that maybe has ran a little bit today. One stock that we haven't really looked at too much, again, is AMD. And this is a name that, good name to trade for sure, but look at this move down. I don't know if we ever found out why it sort of went parabolic here like that. I mean, we went from $80 bottom all the way to 85. There was some good stopping spots there back to the 50 period every time. But then when you finally broke the 50 period, look at this move to the downside. So yeah, a lot of action here on AMD. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to look to go long on that one. But for now, we got to go over to Brendan at the desk.
Guys, yeah, 1 hour to go, or just under 1 hour to go in a day that's going to end negative, unfortunately, if you've been doing other things and just joining us still to the downside in a big way here, 1+% right across the entire board here pretty much, including the NASDAQ, both the composite and the 100, 1.25, 1.25. The Russell small cap index 2000 has been a little bit better all day long, but not much, 1.5 really right across the board. Same story for the Dow and the S&P. And yep, it was all about Fed Chair Powell making comments most of the morning and into the early afternoon. In fact, basically highlighting the fact that we need faster rate hikes. We're going higher, terminal rate going to be higher than anyone thinks. Saying all the right hawkish things to cause this move in the overall market. And to cause this move, holy cow, in crude oil today, 4% now to the downside. Basically ended the session there at session lows and has continued just to leak all the way down to $77, back into the middle of this range on the daily chart. But 4% move on fears of lower demand, guys, for oil. Back over to you.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that's interesting is that we keep talking about the strength in the consumer. Like if you look at what's strong today, Dick's Sporting Goods obviously squeezing to the upside. Daniel Shea was talking about that name. Walmart's a pretty strong name. I mean, if the retail shoe drops again and some of these names stop reacting positively and you get a little bit more cash strapped, I think we're going to be under some pressure. It's just some of the comments that did get made about, you know, the consumer and where jobs are at. It's like, I don't know. If the labor market starts to show some cracks, then this is going to be an interesting situation, because quite frankly, you had just an absolute blowout number in January, and you're doing the Fed can't accomplish its mission with a strong labor market. I don't care what they say. So they're going to have to push stronger if labor market holds up the way it is. And it's like a double-barreled action if it stops holding up, because then suddenly there's no soft landing to be had, because then the consumer is not going to have the coin once you start seeing unemployment go up. And then you're going to get double barrel, you're going to get recession, and then you're going to get inflation also out of control. So I think there's a possibility of a leg down. I wanted to get to Snapchat here because I was looking for like I say money fills. And if I say money fill, it's because I stole it from Luca. And what I love about that, it means inside a target range, you want it to break the first support and then get filled underneath it, looking for the bounce. So that's what I wanted on Snapchat. It never happened. It actually ended up holding. It held at 65 level. That's where I was long from the morning. I'm going to go back to that well, see if we can't pick some of those bad boys up. And I give it to you, Intel. It's not breaking this low right now. So, you know, I'm sitting here and it's like, okay, fine. If you're not going to pop the VWAP and you're not going to break 25.50, I got to cover some of this because it is not breaking this bottom. This is not SSR. If Intel makes a fresh low, you can just get 49s. Like 50 breaks, you can have 49. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'll say it, then you won't get it. But 49s are in play. I think that break can happen. It's just a matter of understanding that it's got a lot of buyers down here, and I want to take another crack at this. And here's the curl. We're patient in NVIDIA. I wanted to see it test back to 35, but it looks like it's finding resistance at 234.50. So that can be enough. If I'm going to look for the short and the chips here, I just wanted it to make a high as opposed to me anticipating it making a high. Punch in first, Neil, and then start talking about it. Because the second I say I'm seeing the curl here, I jump to the short, and I can't even get the fill because I'm not going to chase it more than 30 cents or so. But I'm looking for the fills right in here around the quarter range, give it to the half, and then the low of the day is at 233. There you go, eventually get the fill. Spoiler alert, I like the number 22, so I like to offer 22 and bid 22 a lot for whatever reason. Will Clark.
Okay, all right, what to talk about. So I was sort of thinking, and I said that we didn't really want to go long anything. You know, but yeah, maybe I can go long AMD a little bit here. Okay, so
AMD's strong.
AMD, NVIDIA's stronger?
No, AMD's strong.
Yeah, AMD's up 1% still. So that's what I was looking at, is that we're still up 1%, and then we're actually back at, I mean, we can look at a 20 period, or 20-minute, 20-period chart right now. you know, I would much rather like this 81 down here for a long. We could get into that. That's probably something worth testing as we go back to the third where 81 was the top. Then we broke out. We sort of tested back here this morning and dropped down to 81 before taking upside again. So that could be something. But again, I think that's the ultimate bottom. And it's 310 right now. So welcome to Power Hour right now. There we go. We'll go a little red action there at Power Hour. Let's see if it wants to hold. So for me, I was thinking about this long right here on a break of 82.10 long for AMD, but it has to come in first. And if it doesn't, then we're going to stay away from AMD. But that's something there. Isn't it true that DocuSign reports?
This week. Tonight.
I think it might be tonight. Let me just double check this.
Or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's this trading day is the last. So post-market the 9th. No, post-market the 9th.
Oh, it's not till the
Okay, so it's still a little ways away. I did think it was today or tomorrow. So it's not. It's Thursday. So what day is it? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, so still a while to go. But DocuSign today, wow. I mean, you want to talk about a strong name. This is it, man. DocuSign, a nice day today, up 2%. Let's just see what it did on the day here. So a huge move off the open. I must have missed something. Maybe it's cost cutting. I think they've already done that. But look at this bottom again. So again, trying to find a bottom, DocuSign right here, 65 bucks. I mean, in all of that sort of chaos with Fed Powell, it only went down to 77. So I still feel like these bottoms would have been great. There's the bottom on the Fed. There it is again testing, and there it is again. And we almost tested one more time. So there's DocuSign coming in. You know what it is? What is it?
No, we mistaken. Thank you guys in the chat. It's CrowdStrike that's tonight. We were talking about earnings.
But I still thought DocuSign.
Because we were talking about earnings during the middle of the day. It was CrowdStrike that we were talking about. I know the two of us were talking about it. But DocuSign's a big one. I know the shortfall is probably interesting.
Wow, Rivian's still going, by the way.
Rivian is dying. Just so, by the way, a couple of things. 1-to-1 and NVIDIA was right here underneath that 234. So I did take some out. It is heading back into the downside. Still no break of Intel. Like, it's weird. Like, there's no break of Intel at that low of the day. But Rivian, that reverse. It is what it is. Sometimes you can go for it. You, like I said, you can't get it. I'm not happy about it, but I can't do anything about it. That's the rule. When we started trading, you know what? The uptick rule existed on every single stock when we started trading. It wasn't even, the stock could be up 20%. It doesn't matter. Down 5%. The uptick rule existed. You could not short without an uptick on every symbol. And imagine trying to day trade to the short side during those days, although it wasn't that bad. But Rivian's getting crushed, man. And I'm not really sure where the bottom's going to be on this one because this is a pretty monster level that is getting taken out. At some point, you got to figure it's going to catch a bit of a bounce. But with 15 gone, unless it magically recovers it, which could happen, you could see like a break that only goes 30 or 40 cents, a gap back up, find support, and then you get a bit of a breakout trade like 1550 or something like that. But that's what you're left with. Otherwise, is this a hat size when we come back in 6 months?
I'm going to say it's what's up to JJ Watt here. I don't know if this is who that is, obviously. JJW.
Legend.
I don't think he's sitting here. He's retired now, isn't he? Did he officially retire?
He is retired.
He did, yeah.
He's retired.
Yo, Fahad, this is for you, my guy. Somebody here, JJ, wants to say, Sean should do the LeBron powder celebration when he makes a winning trade. That would be a new effect. I think that would be sick, right? If we did something like that, we could do that in front of the green screen. And I could like sort of get up on the stands there on the bench and do that. That'd be kind of fun. So anyways, thanks for the idea. As we are working on new animations and hit the joke right now, like we've been working on these forever, but I promise you at some point we'll get them done there. But okay, so there goes Rivian to the downside. And again, maybe we'll put it out because we are looking for some more animation ideas. Rivian just keeps on going down. Let's check back on AMD if that idea is doing anything. Not yet. We're still going to wait for that. SoFi down 3%. That could be something that we look at. And by the way, a name that we were in earlier today, Roblox. Like, it sucks because at first we were long and then we got out of Roblox and then we went short and able to capture a little bit of profit. Then we went short again at 41.20 before getting out at 41.30. This is another name that's surprisingly doing really well, up 2.64%. Okay, Brandon, what you got?
More on this TikTok, Meta, and Snap might move on this. Looks like Meta already ticking to the upside. The White House said to, reportedly anyways, support this new TikTok bill and is, quote unquote, urging Congress to act quickly to send it to the president's desk, again, for banning TikTok, guys. So a little bit of an uptick here for Meta.
Okay, well, I was already looking at Snapchat, so sorry, I just got to reload on NVIDIA. Same thing, if it breaks at 50, I want to get out, which it might do right now, but I think Snapchat might be a little bit more interesting off of that news. Want to make sure I've adjusted my stop because I just added back into it. So yeah, there we go, just adjusted the stop. And Snapchat, let's go for it. I am waiting at 70s, but this is not that bad of a dip. You can just get in a little bit less and kind of pay up to 80s. The trend is trying to break right here, so am I going to let it break? I like the support on the stock. We'll see if we can get something at the 79 level. And I see you, Lemieux Trading Systems. Someone from our chat is friends with J.J. Watt. Went to undergrad with him at Wisconsin.
No, his brother.
His brother, sorry, TJ.
The better one.
Well,
the
TJ.
Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, TJ Watt's an absolute beast.
Now they're both.
Shout out to the Big Ten. Obviously, we're going to be doing our NCAA tournament pool. Selection Sunday is this weekend, I want to say.
It is.
Is this weekend. It's going to be Selection Sunday. I'm a Big Ten fan, so Wisconsin, I got no issues with them. I'm more Michigan State. Ugh. Not so good this year. Not so good this year for Michigan State. But I like the Big Ten. I like Snapchat. It's putting up a higher low as we speak, and it's in front of a support level. Market breaks low. Snapchat never breaks the low. So we're back to the well. Not quite the price we had this morning, but that news doesn't give us a bit of a break. It's a bit of a bottom pick as well, but it's one name at least I know has been pretty strong. And just to reinforce this, if you're only tuning in now, Snapchat this morning was all about that 200 period hold, and that's where it's bouncing from. And there's room to the upside, but just remember, it's already made the big move this morning. This is a retracement that it's put on, so I'm just looking for that nice little bounce. If it gets to 12, that's a decent risk to reward. We'll be happy with it. We get the imbalance or the early look on the imbalances in about 15 minutes. Were I to see Snapchat, Meta, one of those names on there, I would respect whatever direction it happens to be. Overall market, the imbalances haven't been much, so I'm not really that worried about it. But when you're holding NVIDIA and Intel, sometimes you do get those imbalances coming through that can flip the market, especially when you're at highs and lows. When the market's at the low of the day, I think better chance that you can get a big move off the imbalances as opposed to sitting in the middle. Ooh, NVIDIA just broke 234.50. So first time good. Second time, we stop out, but I'm going to stop out tight. If it's going to break the lows, I want to hold through it, but I'm not going to allow this to go all the way back into 263 and hold it $1.50 against me.
Yeah, no, and I mean, we don't trade without stop loss parameters, right? So you got to do that. Never make your first trade your last trade or anything even similar to that. Okay, so for some reason there, I was just looking at AMD and like, am I ever going to get this fill? And all of a sudden, boom, it comes right in. So we got some work to do now because we're into AMD. So AMD just took out that level that we were looking at, right? There it is. It goes right to the 50 period, takes it out. We're long at 10. Well, we're long at 12. So we even have a bad price, but that's okay. We're going to hold this again. Honestly, you want to dance with the devil? I mean, let's just play off this bottom then, 81.70. I mean, I feel like the risk to reward is here if the market does go. And you might say, well, why are we going long right now when we sort of said we wouldn't? I mean, we're above the 50 period now. I honestly thought that we would trend this whole way. Look, we took down the 50, like, look at us. There, broke it to the upside. Here, resisted, boom, back up, well, supported back up. And then it broke. There it goes, resistance. There it goes, resistance again. And here it looks to me like we've broken a little bit above it. Now, whether or not we're just talking up our book because we're long, that could be the case as well. But we have our outs, and if it does break the bottom, that's good to go. We're long at what I believe to be a strong name here today. I don't have to believe it. The market's telling me that it is. AMD's up 1% right now, trying to bounce. Let's go long. Let's go long AMD right here. Averaging into this trade, probably once, but averaging into losing trades is not an idea that we want to do, especially into a red market here. Like if the market was up 1% and AMD was, up, and we're like, hey man, maybe we'll just buy a dip and then have it go to the long side. What we're doing right now is like what Neil was talking about, counter. But the thing is, on this situation, I feel like we kind of are buying the dips as well. It's dipped down in here for AMD. We're now finally breaking above. You mentioned, I don't have to call it up, but you mentioned NVIDIA and some of these other names. So let's just continue to see if these will work and go back up to the upside. So the only dip buy we'll do, and it'll be for about a third of the position. So if we had, 1,500 shares now, we'll put on 500 more, something like that, down here at 81.90 or so, right where that is. And if we break lower, it would suck to give back our profits today that we've made on some of these longs or some of these shorts by going long, but we'll do it here for AMD and just try. Maybe we do get a little bit of a relief rally into this market, so that's what I'm going to hope for here at the close, and I feel like using that word hope might be appropriate for this time, but let's just see if we can get a bounce back. We got a great long on Google earlier in this market. Maybe we do want to restate back to 12,200 right now. So let's go. Hopefully AMD can climb upside a little bit. We are going to average back into 90. Now we've talked about it. We've set our plan of action. Now let's put it to work. Okay, so live on our screen, you should be able to see it. Fahad's talking to us, so that's, you know, what would be really cool. I mean, I know he talks to us, but if there was another also
if he could talk to the crowd, yeah, you
because
guys.
he's very godly when he comes into our ear. He's like,
yeah,
guys.
Brendan's very professional.
I need to tell you something.
He's done broadcasts, but he'll say a lot to us in our ears. Sometimes it catches us off guard.
So,
but this is a big announcement.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so now if we get super chats, if we get subscribers, we're going to see a note. Members. We're going to see it on screen. So if you join, become a member, it's going to flash on the screen.
And super chats, I think, too.
And super chats as well, which is pretty cool. So
super chats and
members.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
So I want to thank Fahad and of course, you know, Prad for doing an awesome job. I'm sure Mark's been helping. Mark is always working, and they do a great job of getting these things to us. So let's see what happens. I mean, obviously you're going to see it on the screen there. Hopefully we see it too. I'm looking at my program monitor like it's going to matter. But I keep looking back from like, is it going to happen? But that's fine. So great job, guys. Great work. I want to talk TRK for a quick second, if I could. So this was like the penny stock squeeze name. Wow. Penny stock squeeze name. I liked 80 break. Guys, remember that in the afternoon? I was looking for an 80 break that never happened. Well, it broke and gapped up, so I went long in front of 80. I stopped out. I got super lucky in that I didn't get the reversal short, and then it gave me the reversal short. Now it's continuously flushing on every single pop. So I'm looking, oh God, just punch short first, Neil. I was about to walk you guys through the notion of it's making a stair step to the upside. Let's look for the short off of 60. All of a sudden, it's already at 52. So play the patience game. It looked like it wanted to make a run into the 60 level. I wanted to short 58 into 60. We'll have to be patient. I'm not going to short 52s when I wanted 58 or 57. So let's let it go back up 5 to 10% before I go for it. There it is. We just got a member, and it was, no, it's fine. It's fine. We got the member. I can see it on my screen. Pranya, thank you very much for joining. We appreciate all the support that we get, so you see it on the screen. Great work, guys. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Momentum Hunter, Momo Hunter, there you go. Congratulations. You found the best trading channel, the only live trading channel actually in the market, because quite frankly, you know, you're trading live. We'll show you winners and losers. I got no issues. Like one day you're getting the absolute top of the buck and the stock's going like 10, 15% to the downside. The other day, Weight Watchers is on NASDAQ. I keep thinking it's on the New York. I don't know why. But the other day, you're getting wicked out up at the top. And someone was telling me that Weight Watchers is going again. Liquidity sucks on this stock. It's done 63 million shares. But I'm telling you, like when it got up to 7, and this should have been a hint that maybe it wasn't going to follow through, liquidity was not very good up there. So you're seeing it get up to that price and abjectly, it's just rejecting. But it's relatively thinly traded for something that's done as much volume, which makes it very tricky going into the end of the day here. But I kind of have my eyes on that TRK. Ooh, the market's starting to come back in. I should have jumped back in that NVIDIA trade. Why won't Intel break 2550? Now I'm wondering why it won't happen. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're a little frustrating here because we did average into our AMD and this trade. Look, it's working. It's not working, but it's kind of sometimes. And this is the problem. It's like I said not to go long, and I found a stock that I thought looked okay on the chart. We talked about it. We went long, so it looks like this will be a small lesson in trusting your damn self again, and just doing what you've been doing and staying there. But whatever, we're long. I mean, I'm talking like this, and I'm out of the money 17 cents or whatever right now. So hopefully we can pull back upside right here, 19 cents. Hopefully we can pull back upside. We're long at 06, sorry. We're short Amazon right now at 99. This is the name. That's still okay, but we have more shares on AMD because it's a new position, and we haven't been able to get anything out. So we are going to hold this until that 70 comes through. I got an itch back here. And then we'll figure that out. don't hit my mic down, on that out. So my hands are off this trade. It's either going to work or not. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but
that's how it should be.
We're going to have, we're just going to have to wait for it. So if it works out for us, great. We do have this call, and it's going to be a long on AMD. Let's just see if the market wants to hold. It doesn't look like it. We're now below the 50 period again. And so this position, admittedly, could be in a little bit of trouble here as AMD giving it back just a little bit. But we're only out of the money right now, 17 cents. So let's not talk too negatively about it. But our out is right here, a break of 70. So we're pretty close.
So I did wait, and thankfully I did wait on TRKA. I already forget the name of the actual company here, so apologies. Like when we're trading these small caps, like I know Nvidia, I know Intel, and you know Snapchat, but TRK, whatever. It's been a minute since this morning when we were trading it earlier. I think the money fills here are probably going to be in that 60 range. There's not a lot of size on the offer. Obviously, it's done 500 million shares, so there's a bunch of liquidity here. But I didn't want to chase that move down. Like if I'm looking to get out before VWAP, then I can't be short at 52. That just doesn't make any sense, risk to reward. But it's got a little bit of a line in the sand here in front of that 60 level that we got to short on this one now. Obviously, it was a good long for everybody the last couple of days, but just want to remind you, this made a rejection of the dollar level. When you see a penny stock make the run to $1, it's not just a big psychological level. You have to respect the fact that they're trying to hold compliance in there, and when that fails, you get a lot of dumping because that's been a pretty solid rally. So the bears got control of it. I was able to join it. I'm looking for that retracement now back into the mid 50s. We'll see if we can get that one right now in TRKA, and I still forget the name.
All right, yeah, it's Troika. Troika?
Is it Troika?
Troika. Troika?
Troika.
Troika. I go with Troika. Troika sounds pretty good to me right now. Okay, so is there any other names you guys want to talk about?
Anonymous wants to bet me a pack of beers.
What is exactly a pack of beers? I mean, a six-pack maybe, or 12-pack.
What will go to $5?
It's normally called a case of beer. We're
not
betting anything. We have bet every day.
No. But I'm short 60. I'm literally getting out if it breaks 61, 62. So I'm not saying it's not going to $5. I'm just saying that I think it's like right now. I'm thinking it's more likely to get back down into 50 than it is to break 61. And even that, given risk to reward, I only have to be right 30% or 35 to 40% of the time for that trade to work out. I'm with the trend, so I'm kind of hoping it's going to be better. I'm not making a long-term call on Troika. Not at all. That's not how we roll. Like I'm not making a long-term call on Intel. Well, okay, I guess it's a little bit different. Like when you short the stock every single day, you're kind of implicitly making a long-term call on it. So it is absolutely fair. Like if I say I'm shorting Intel every single day, when it finds a resistance level, then I think it's getting to the 52-week low. But we're talking day trades primarily here. Like when I was long this, I didn't think it was going to the moon. I just thought it had an opportunity to go to the moon above that 80 level if it held. So these are all about short-term calls as traders. Take them for what they're worth. There's nothing for or against the stock. If we're giving you a long-term opinion, we're going to tell you that it's just a personal outlook on the stock for the long term. Otherwise, pure momentum trading here, guys.
All right, yeah, no, exactly, and that's the thing, right? Understand that Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every single day, so what we're trying to do is find some winners now, and if you want to hold overnight, then that's so be it for sure. I still think there's a lot of great opportunity here over the next couple weeks. I feel like the market's going to fall in one more time. I mean, we talked about that 12,000 coming in again, and we're almost there. I'm feeling tomorrow will be that day. I don't think, I mean, again, I'm going to read the articles and figure out what people were talking about with Powell. All we know is sort of the headlines that Brendan's been giving, but I do want to hear some more opinions on, what exactly this means for, maybe the next couple weeks here, as we know that we're going to go, looks like we're going to go 50 points. I thought that was about 70% now, or even higher than that for the next
rate. Do we have that?
We probably do. I mean, I can just Google it, Fed Rate Funds Tool. But for right now, there it is, man. Bad idea. And I'll be, I'm here to be responsible for all of the trades, and that was a bad one. We talked our way through it. But look at the 50 period. Like, trading, a lot of trading is hindsight, but it's about learning too. And it's just like, right there, and then, I don't know. I thought it was going to break and go back up to the upside, but again, the futures just kept going back down. So, down she goes, and that would have been a great short. Oh, I meant to say short there, guys, not long, no. But that would have been a good call anyways, but it doesn't matter, it's not in anymore, and there it is, a flush down to the downside. So, hey, why don't we go short? But see, this is the thing.
You know what to short every day?
The short every day, Affirm.
Well, they used to be. Affirm that the short Affirm is old news. It's Silvergate.
It's not a short every day.
It just did it. It just did it again. It only goes. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to work. And like this is, that's the thing. Like when you see this stock. Let me go to the 15 minute. Give a better picture on the 15 minute here, guys. Like the gap down. Since then, since the gap down, it is short every single pop. The very first resistance level that was respected once it flat bottom breaks 650, holds it, short there, short there. Any short you had, it just made another flat bottom break. If this gets and holds beneath $5, watch out below. Obviously, that's going to be an interesting level if it gets there. It just hasn't happened yet. Intel is holding it. I'm chuckling because Intel won't break the low, but this is one of those short every single pop that it gives you. This Troika, hey, the bulls they're doing a bit of work here. So it gets up to that 60. I got bids in front of 55. I got bids in front of 54, 52, kind of on the way back into the bottom. 50, which I thought was going to be the low, was the low. So we'll see what happens on Troika. But there's some buyers in here that are trying to hold it up. Like you can see it's running into the resistance level. So this is it's the right spot. And at this point, it's either going to flush back into those lows and I get filled, or we break out that top and I get out of the trade. Very binary. I like a binary trade where I don't necessarily have to worry about the nuances. But if then this or that. Nah, if it breaks afternoon resistance, I'm out. If it flushes, I'm getting out before it reaches that low of the day anyway. So very binary trade, which is always good, especially at the end of the day when you don't have as much time for it to play out. There's 30 minutes for a day trader left, 20 if you look at the imbalances. So is there enough time for you to get all nuanced about the direction? I'll join back in when it bounces out to 50, this and that. Like, there's no time for that. Like, I want a binary trade at this point, which I have with Troika. Yeah, Troika.
Troika, yeah, that's it for sure. Troika.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so good one there. And so it's 3:30 right now.
Why you gotta do me like that, man?
What, did you start eating again? Or what?
No, I started cracking up because it's like, whatever, man. I get so many of these penny stock names wrong that when I get one right, I'm like, yeah, look at me. I can actually say the name of the company every now and then.
That's what I was saying earlier about this not open stock 10x. Open Door, I guess, is a penny stock. Thanks, Chamath, for all that. But okay, talk about a stock that may be heading to Pennyville. I don't think so, Rivian. But 14.80 right there. We've really held this well, man. This is now 80 cents in the money for a $14 name. So that's pretty good return right there off the open. But, we're going to get out if it finally takes its 50 period. So unlike my ridiculous trade there in AMD, which I don't think it was ridiculous. I mean, we'll lose 30 cents. If that's ridiculous, then that's ridiculous. But probably not worth the risk at this time of day. I don't really know why I went long, but right here, just respect this 50 period and make like you were talking about, binary decision. Let's just let it make it for us. If it takes this level, we'll just up it a little bit and get out here at 84, 85. So that right now we're at 80 with the 50 period. So we'll just watch that. We will respect that and get out if that does happen. So that's what we're going to do right there with Rivian. We're going to get it out if it does come back in. Rivian on watch right now. For me, AMD literally dancing at these levels that we got out at. So that's a trade that we're going to forget about and just move off of it. We're never going to forget about it. We got to be responsible, like we said, for all of our trading. But that one we're going to wait on. That's Rivian again on that. But AMD, we're going to wait on that. Let's go over to Apple, because did Apple get down to that 151? It did.
It did.
See, so there you go. There's another spot that you could have possibly bounced off of right there, 151 for Apple. So I don't think a missed opportunity, but definitely an opportunity right there to grab that long. We talked about why did we like the long on Apple at 151. We actually talked about it on the 20-minute chart, I believe it was. Anyways, yeah, right there. There's 151. Again, another level that we sort of bouncing off of before. 151 right here, right into here again. That's like 150.50. And then yesterday, or is that yesterday? The 6th. Yeah, yesterday, where we started the day, 151. So, all right, a little bit more work necessary there to get that winner, but that would have been a good one to have. Apple, 151. Oh, what do you want? Yeah, I heard you. Yeah. Without any further ado, and because we're on Fahad time now, let's go over to Brendan at the big desk.
It's not BPT.
Hey guys, Small Cap brought to you by True Trading Group, trading education, premium tools, mentorship, and community to help you learn, trade, and profit. Click the link in the chat right now. Shout out to TTG. Once again, here we go. Busy afternoon as far as small caps are concerned. This VRAX trying to hold up nicely here. A bit of a double bottom even forming in front of this 120 that we've kind of faded into. Not a huge move today, but up on this note this morning if you missed it. Again, the avian flu test kit gets approval for this one, VRAX. BLPH, meanwhile, 2 days in a row here to the upside. This was yesterday's high. We're right there right now. $5 getting taken out as we speak for BLPH, or tested at least. Might end up being a double top for this one as well. Crazy volume up nicely still. UNCY 2 days in a row comes all the way back to basically the high from yesterday. And of course, how can we forget about AMAM? Absolutely nothing to do on that one today, guys, for AMAM. Ambrx Biopharma, if you missed it, going over to the NASDAQ as of next Friday, guys.
Should have just gone with the gut. I want to thank True Trading Group for the memberships. You're seeing them roll through in there. They keep popping up in the bottom. So thank you very much, True Trading Group. 50 free memberships. So claim them, everybody, and you'll see your name pop in there. But I should have trusted my gut with AMAM. And you just said the name of the company, didn't you?
Come on, Neil, focus on these stocks.
I know, it's bad. But remember yesterday when we were like, what's the news here? They're going from the New York to the NASDAQ, and that's why it's up? That didn't make any damn sense. And so, could have just come in and shorted it, didn't do it, doesn't matter. If you smell a rat, then sometimes that's just all it is. But this $10 level is a pretty big one. You can kind of see like over-unders here. Flush off 10 to 9, over-under, failing that 10. I wouldn't pay for locates this late in the day because there's 20 minutes for it to come back in. So TRK, I did just take TRK because I paid for locates on this morning. So it's not as if, just to make a trade like late in the session, you wouldn't necessarily want to pay for locates because then you don't have all day for a trade to set up. However, it did just get in there, give me my fill at 60s or in front of 60s. Now back in, got to 56, got to 54, got to 52. Very clever and creatively shorted 58 and 59. With a stop out here at 62 and then get out every couple of pennies. But let's see what happens. Can it follow through? Does it get back up to the top? It's, like I said, a bit of a binary trade. It is amazing how Intel's holding that bottom. And by the way, Silvergate, I think I paid for locates on this, but Silvergate flushes, holds 5 again, and is now right back to where it did the flat bottom break. So a bit of a bounce here. Somebody's buying up Silvergate at $5, or at least taking the opportunity to pick up 5s. And you can see that reflected the last 3 days. I was just saying short every single pop. At some point, if it holds $5, it is worth a shot. Like, as a day trader, it's 70-something% shorted. And if it's not breaking 5, heck, how far does it have to go if you're long 5 with a 480 stop? Not that far for it to look pretty solid. The longer it holds this level, the better that trade becomes. So I know I just finished saying this was going to be a short on every single pop, but there's another way to play this as well. And those scalp longs at $5. What's going to find a convincing level? Something like Silvergate, which is more beat up than Rivian, that is 77% short, that has already made the flush, or Rivian, which is only making it now. So you got to give up the go sometimes and be willing to catch a little bit of a bottom. I'll be open to that if 5 is still holding tomorrow morning.
All right. Yeah, we had Silvergate was BlackRock was in there. I believe Citadel was in there as well. There's a few different
somebody
names.
else too.
I don't look. As much as I've been hating exchanges for years, to be honest with you, I can't believe I actually bought Coinbase and actually I wound up getting out at 350 or 360, which is crazy. Like, I've been holding the bag on so many things, but I just did not trust the exchanges. I still think there's an opportunity to get in there. Someone's going to have to be the custodian and all this kind of stuff. If Silvergate can get themselves through it, maybe there is a longer term buy there. And again, maybe this is more podcast talk than what we're doing right now, because we're just going to talk a little bit about trades. Brendan came in there with, did I see the number?
I didn't see it.
Oh, there it is, 357 to sell. So it's a downside pressure coming for the Mach,
dirty, hairy
which
action.
Mach means, 357 Magnum. There comes in for the market on close. And we just got another piece out of Amazon. So, there's only 20 more minutes. I have to be flat basically in 10 minutes. What is the point of holding into that number? We will hold a little bit because we're getting lighter and lighter on this. What am I doing? I'm trying to pull this down. But Amazon right now just came in, and look at this. 1 time, 2 time, 3 times the charm. I'm going to keep getting these out at 40 if it comes down here. Next time, we'll try to hold a little bit as we're getting lighter and lighter on this position. And then just checking back, Rivian almost out as well. Just bounced off 80, so I feel like we have a good out here with 83, 84 as a little bit of pressure coming through right now for Rivian to the downside and continuing. We talked about this too. What about banks? We haven't really looked at banks in a while, but JP Morgan, it's still looking at this 140 level. Like, I need to be a little bit smarter because, like, what exactly does this mean? Higher rates for longer? Like, I thought maybe the banks might be a beneficiary of that, but they're down more than a lot of these tech names today. So JP Morgan down again, another 2.5%. I was saying about, remember every time I was like, you could get out of JP Morgan right at the top and rebuy it when we test 130. Now I feel like this 130 might be coming in here in the next little while. So let's see if we take that 50 period. JP Morgan and some of the banks, they're probably all the same, and we can call up Morgan and all this. I just wonder about the 50 period. Regardless, like if we get below this 138 for JP Morgan, then I'm looking for a short. So this could be a tomorrow play on this. If we think the banks or whatever is going to be red. Look at AMD now back above 82 as the 50 period goes. That's going to be frustrating for a bit. But JP Morgan right now, interesting level there. As tech's been getting hit today, but so are the banks. It's been kind of the other way around. So we'll wait to see here what JP Morgan wants to do. Still at period highs of 140. So you're still here, but still well off that 144.
So that touched the 50 period today.
Yeah, or right at it anyway. I got off of it. But yeah, 130, 139, 140.
Shout out Gillette Wells, new member there. I mean, it's not that big of a difference. You asked about Morgan. Morgan's bouncing not quite off the 50 period, but very similar. You know, difference being like this rejected, and if it gets back up there, maybe I'll pay more attention to $100 at Morgan Stanley. You get a 2-day reject of 100 on a rejected break. And someone asked me, what is a false breakout? So to me, what a false breakout is, you have a resistance level at $100. It tests higher, goes $1 essentially off that. So if you took a break, swing, or whatever you want to call it, and then when it pulls back, it doesn't catch a bid until more than that dollar. That's a rejected break. It trapped the longs and then would have washed them out. It didn't give you 2 or 3 to 1 if you had a $1 stop. If you had a $5 stop, it clearly didn't do anything for you. So that's a rejected break. It could not hold the breakout of 100, pulled back much more than that. And a lot of times, what you like about that as a day trader or a swing trader is you're out, like where you're making money short at $100, you know, because the big players are going to win. You're not going to beat them, right? Like you're kind of going up against like the smaller players and you know the different types of traders out there. So when it makes these flushes through like say 98 or over here like back through 99 and stopping people out, it's the people that are trapped in these longs for a couple of days here that are getting out on these flushes. You know, when they're getting out on little breaks like that, that's the momentum where you get the extra push for the day trader or the swing trader where your short's working when it's trapped a bunch of longs. And you know the volume was only okay on that move, but I like those for setups. It's why I almost prefer if you're going to grab something. And all that said, like the reason I wasn't short $1 on TRK is because I think the short would have been better had it broken $1, trapped longs off of $1, and then made the flush down. It's just so much more explosive to the downside. Speaking of which, it's now 342, Sean.
I know.
So I was waiting for 52, but I just took some 53s on Troika because we're running out of time. So we're running out of time. Snapchat is out of the money 2 cents. That might not move at all. I might have to just get out of that trade flat if it doesn't move. That's just how it is right now. Intel is not breaking 25.50. There's nothing I can do about it. It does not want to break this low. I'd say it's pretty amazing. I'll just plop on the bid here because if it's not going to break the level, then I'm just going to have to get out at the level. I don't know what to say, but somebody likes Intel at 25.50. I still think it has another $1 to go to the 52-week bottom, but it's not doing it today very clearly.
I mean, AMD is...
Where is it now? Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
That's NVIDIA for me. We talk about this all the time.
Come to the screen there.
Go to Sean's screen for a second.
Yeah. It's break time over there. Look at this move to the upside. There it is. Almost straight shots fired. So shout out to you, AMD. You turned that into a red trade when it did not. need to be. But I mean, a shout out to everybody that either held that or maybe bought where I got out, or I don't know, but it took down that low. We waited for that. And, you know, we got out at 70 or 68, whatever that is. Goes as low as 60, but we had the right name, we had the right idea, just the wrong time. So there it goes. Nice trade. Congratulations to all y'all out there that had that, man. That's a good trade. And right back in. I don't know if it is a good trade. And I see what you're saying right there. Yeah, shout out Farm Trader. I don't know who you're saying the GOAT is, but that's good. Yeah, Micron. So I just want to talk to Abhishek right now. So I'll look at Micron for you. It's not going to be a position that I'm going to put on, not on a Fed day. I'm going to call today a Fed day and tomorrow a Fed day because it's not an interest rate day, but it is a Fed day geared by the Fed. So tomorrow they're going to speak. He is going to speak to Congress. So I just don't think it's worth taking any big trades here into the imbalances and then into the close. We can't swing overnight, nor do I. Well, you know what? What is it? 10 a.m. again tomorrow, Brendo? Maybe you guys in the chat could let us know, but most likely it would be again at 10 a.m. But we can look at Micron real quick here for you. Yeah, I mean, you're all. So at this point, when I'm going to look at a chart, a lot of the analysis is going to be the same. You double touched and triple touched a lot of these bottoms just now. So probably Micron, AMD, Meta, they're all going to look, I don't even have to look at them, they're all going to look the same. We came back in, we resisted those bottoms. So let's just, the good thing about Fed being tomorrow and that we already had one today was the fact that now maybe the playbook is here for us. Like now we've seen this move. Here's the move down. Could be complete opposite, but we know we could go back and forth right now with these prices. So 55.50, 55.30 right now. I don't know. I'm glad Prad just said that. We actually forgot about it. Let's go over here. What's up to D? West? Is it Westmeyer?
It's Mr. Westermeyer. So you guys know we have the Magic 8 Ball. So it's a little old. It doesn't really work anymore. I'm going to reach in.
It works, but I don't think it's going to be as
it doesn't work. I have to reach in and try and find this because we didn't open this before, but we're going to get this out there.
My keyboard here.
I'm going to throw this because there's going to be, I don't want foam everywhere. I'll get the foam on the ground, not on the desk.
You have foam, Mo.
Yeah, there's foam everywhere now. There's foam everywhere. But this is fresh.
Thanks
we haven't opened this up.
And
now I got to open the package because, like, United States Postal Service is over packaging here.
Jeez.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I mean, okay, you know what?
You got a knife or something? Yeah, just rip it. Let's
screw a knife. Here we go. Let's go. There we go. Let's go. All right, let's open this bad boy up.
Let me get an order out here.
Nice. Okay. Here, Neil. Because it was your idea, you do the honors of opening that up.
Well, because it's supposed to be.
It was because we did the chip challenge.
Yeah, we did the chip challenge, and Mr. Westermeyer was like, "Hey, we're gonna get this to you guys. A new Magic 8 Ball. It is fresh. It is clean.
For what?
And what's the first question going to be? What do we want to do here? No, Fahad.
No, I don't want to get this to start off on the wrong foot.
We're not asking that silly question, Fahad. Let's get a real question out there. Let's see what you like. The imbalances are coming in about 3 minutes, so we do have some time.
How about we could ask it?
Where are we, like one and a half?
We could ask it about how the day, maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Because we could ask it how the Fed is going to react.
Well, I kind of want to say, will Powell move the markets up tomorrow? So let's just go with that. So we'll shake it up. Let's see what it says here. Oh, goodness. Read it.
What?
Yes. Read it. Are you kidding me?
It says Fahad says yes on here. It's what it says.
I swear. I don't know if you guys can see that. It says Fahad says yes. It is customized.
This is the best.
It is customized for us.
You can't see it. Maybe we'll take a picture of it.
That's too awesome.
It officially says Fahad says yes. So this doesn't work. Okay. So unfortunately, thank you so much for that. But any crystal ball that is based on Fahad's answers, really, oh my God, here's another one.
Let's see.
This is the best. Only if Neil raps.
No, that's hilarious.
This is the best. These are going to be customized. Okay, let's not. I don't want to.
Cool,
thank you so much. That is so awesome.
That's so awesome.
Let's take some clips of this and put this out.
Thank you.
Because this is Trader TV Live 8 Ball time right now. Maybe we could stick a sticker on this. But thank you so much. That is amazing. D. Westermeyer. The answers, I don't even want to look at them now.
No, because
I want to be surprised by the next one. Like when it said Fahad said yes, I was like, okay, this is broken for sure. But it's great that it's Neil rapping and everything like that. Hopefully there's some more stuff coming through, but we're going to ask that.
We'll unveil them throughout the next few days.
No, we're just going to ask it every day. We'll ask it something in the open, and we'll chart it. We'll see if it's right throughout the day, and then we'll go with that. But that's amazing. Thank you so much, man. That's a wicked prize or gift, and I just want to say thank you.
It's a prize for us, man.
It is, man. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. To get it personalized like that, that means a lot, man.
Like, we're just honestly, like, we're just a couple of dudes out here, like all of us just trading on the floor. We have a lot of fun with it, and we're just glad. Hey, we'll have some fun with it too. Like, we love having fun, and thank you guys for sharing in that. That's pretty cool. And just a couple of things. We got 1 minute till imbalance. I'm going to take some out of this troika because it's running out of time. So just bounced up to 55. I grabbed some out there. I got some 53s. I got a tight stop on Snapchat, but I'm going to tighten that stop up because we have less than 1 minute. Now, I was sort of saying a lot of times you can get the imbalance where you can get a better move off the imbalances when you're at a higher to low. So the market's essentially at the low of the day, which means if we were to flip to a buy, you would have an opportunity for it to maybe go the other way and get a big retracement. So I'm going to hang on to Snap, but if it breaks 70, it's too late in the day to hold it, like 25 pennies against me. No chance it's going to go that high. So going to go with the 10-cent stop, tighten things up as we get the imbalances in about 10 seconds. I'll be on the page. I only have Troika and Snapchat, so not too much to worry about here for me.
Okay, so here we go, man. I'm going to get the page up for you as well. We'll just get Amex going right there, get rid of it, and let's see what happens right now as the imbalances are now out. So here it is, GM, Cisco, GM with a sell. We'll check out what that's doing to the stock. Load. Not much temporarily. We'll wait to see where that hits, probably to the downside. It's a New York stock, so, Rivian with a bid. Wow, Rivian actually bounces off 80 and coming right back in right now. That's a buy for Rivian. I'm going to look.
1.8 billion to sell.
Really, 1.8 billion to sell. Okay, so why? Really, 1.8 billion? I wonder if these didn't add up yet. I mean, there's Microsoft with a small sell. Not really moving around too much. Let's just check out. I don't see Amazon on there, but okay. I'll trust Brent. I mean, it's not Brendan. He's giving it to us. It comes from Financial Juice. So thank you so much for that one. But again, really cool gift, man. We just got. Thank you so much, D. Westermeyer, for that one. And there's Intel with the sell, but honestly, this is like the most calm 1.8 billion I've ever seen.
I got out of Intel and it's still holding 50, even with a 1 million sell. I was just asked what is C3 AI, so let me just. I got out of Snapchat exactly where it was because, quite frankly, sell and balance. If you're going to give me 75s instead of 70s, I'm going to take it. I just looked over to make sure positions and stops were good. C3 AI non-existent, 10,000 shares to buy. Now, some names very rarely have imbalances. I would say I have never seen a significant imbalance on C3 AI. That's just my 2 cents. If it's happened, I've never really seen it. This was another stock. Wow, look at it fail that 28 break. This could be, and then look at 27. Come on, 28, 27 double top. You're going to tell me this is now double topped at 30. This could retrace. This could retrace back into that 20 to 22 level where it's been a buy since this whole AI craze, right? Like that's been a pretty good level for C3, and it's just double topped at 30 even. Got to be watching that one tomorrow. Just TRKA for me. I think I'm going to be getting out of this one pronto. It's now holding 55. Good sign, by the way, because I thought 50 cents would be a little something. It wiped out that 50-cent level. Like I had the short 75. I reversed into a long, and then was almost just instantly stopped out. When it got that bottom. So 50 is holding up rather nicely. If it continues to do that, there can be a second salvo in this stock. But short for this afternoon because quite frankly, that's what the trend is today.
All right, I was waiting. We'll take a little bit out there. Well, we took it all out, but I was waiting at 65. I didn't even get that fill, so we'll just punch out of 10x right now. And unfortunately, it's 60s to 64. We're not going to do anything. We lost on the stock. So we just got out there, but we'll take it out. We just punched all of it out. We actually got 64.5 or something like that. So it's a good little out for us on that one to go. And then again, just looking at these imbalances, they are sell side. We do also have Amazon. We just took a piece out there as it went into the 30s. So far so good on AMZN right here into the close as that's starting to go down. And then down goes Rivian. Spin it one more time as Rivian continues to go to the downside. We're going to have some special guests ringing the bell. So they're looking sharp over there. Well-dressed
sir.
men getting ready. I see. What exactly was that right there? Some nice dances.
Putting some moves on.
Some
I
nice
like it.
moves happening there. Okay. All right, so good. So we got some good business happening here at the close. Brendan will tee it up for you. It's going to be a good little bell happening. But yeah, what a great day. Thank you again for joining us. We've been super happy today with these moves. But guess what? Tomorrow's another day, and this market
right
isn't
back.
going anywhere. And we're super excited to bring you once again live trading here tomorrow.
So I'm not. Look, I just got out of TRK. I'm still holding a buyout. I'll talk about these buyouts from time to time, but 1 cent spread on that. But there's a buyer at 53 on Troika, so I'm going to respect that. The curl off of the 60 level gave you 58.59, but it gave you no better than 53. That's a good buyer out in front of this at 50. It's got a couple of wick bottoms at that 50 cent level. It's got a chance that it might go tomorrow. Rivian buy and balance. So here's the thing about the imbalances. It's not as if it's not set in stone, right? Like just because you get a buy imbalance or a sell imbalance doesn't mean the stock has to go up. It's a market mechanism put in place so that you have extra liquidity and don't have crazy action on the closing imbalance. They put it out there so that if there's a bunch of sellers that don't want to move the market, the buy imbalance, they can offset that. The entire purpose of it is not to have volatility. Every now and then, though, we like to try to take advantage of said volatility. But I would imagine a stock like Rivian, there's enough sellers out there that any buy and balance is getting gobbled up. So you're not really seeing anyone react to that. It is still flushing to the downside. Like I said, you can only short on an uptick with this name. So catching that 15 break was impossible, near impossible. If somebody got a fill, congratulations to you. I couldn't get it. I could get out at 98. I couldn't get short at 98. Had to wait for those pops. We'll try the same thing tomorrow.
All right, it's 3:55 right now. Rivian is at the low of the day. So let's just put a bid and see if it fills us. So we'll put a bid down here at 63. We'll see if we can get that fill. It's a good day for Rivian today, and we're happy to have made that trade today on this name. So let's just continue to see if it pushes a little bit further. We're going to get this fill at 63. Celebrate or not, it's a nice move down for Rivian. I know there's a lot of traders that own Rivian and stuff like that, but you know this EV space continues to get hit downside right now. Tesla still king of the castle, and we're going to see where Rivian and Lucid and all these names sort of.
Rivian's a dirty rascal.
Yeah, it seems like that for now, for sure. As you can tell, we both have kids on that one. But yeah, who's the king of the castle right now?
I don't think they play that game anymore.
No, they don't. Actually, you remember when we were growing up, they played Red Rover, and then you would run at the person and then basically try to like break their arms?
Actually, so
you
true
would hold
story. In my grade school,
Like
that game was banned because someone broke their arm.
Oh, at least it was banned. Like
some little kid.
I thought we were doing that like in
an
gym.
8-year-old kid broke their arm at my school.
Like
It's like
in
you can't play
class,
that game.
My kids can't even throw a tennis ball like in the yard.
They don't let you do anything
in the
anymore.
yard right now.
It's crazy.
I was like, come on, man, how's she going to practice baseball and stuff? But you know what? The one kid did get smoked in the head by a soccer ball, and that was unfortunate for that kid. But whatever, man. That's how you learn. You know.
Sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
Maybe,
School of the hard knocks, right?
Maybe we're too progressive around
School
here.
of the hard knocks.
Yeah, exactly.
You teach a kid to swim by throwing them in the lake, and
Yep. All right, Neil, stop. These are special guests here. You have to get focused on this bell ringing that's coming out right now. Okay. So it's going to be a fun little close here. We promise you. And there it is, right there. Let's go hit the money.
Money.
There it is, right there. It's a nice little fill for Rivian to end the day, man. We'll take $1 on this $14 name over and over again, and that's a good trade for us on Rivian as it's coming in. Amazon, the only position that we have left, and it's starting to head to the downside as well. We got a great fill there at 38.39, and now we're back up to 52.53. So, all right, man, we're getting ready to rock and roll. Special guests on the bell today.
I can't. Maybe I'll be better actually over on this side. There we go. All right, I'll be cut off, but it's fine. We're happy to have, guys, the Hemrick family is here from IFS Global Software on the show. It was last week. We talked to you guys. here all the way from Dubai. So we're happy to have them here for the PDAC. Yeah, just for the closing bell. No, they're here for the PDAC conference that's happening in Toronto. So we have how long? We have about 2 minutes to go, guys. So thank you so much for coming. We're very, very happy to have you back once again. So I'm going to jump out of this because I'm just getting in the way of everything, so you guys can take the floor for the closing bell.
Mics?
Good mics.
Okay, throw it back here. We'll throw it back to them with a minute left because there's still a minute to go.
And
we should have mic'd them up.
I'm gonna out these guys for a quick second.
Uh-oh.
Because when we were having a fun back and forth, and now I'm expecting it, there were some dance moves that were being shown off. So now, look, if you're coming from Dubai, you know how to party. Let's be real for a second. So I fully expect you guys are going to be in for it in about a minute. We're going to get the bell ring. So we always like to have fun with it. That's what it's all about. That's what this game is, and we're glad to have them. Hopefully ring the bell, not the last time, and then they can fly us to Dubai, and then we can party with them at some point. One last thing. I think we have CrowdStrike aftermarket. I don't know what time they report. We're expecting CrowdStrike. But with less than a minute to go, I have no positions on. I'm sitting back and relaxing. And I did just notice the market's at the low of the day, and we didn't change this. So every single time I make the change, it's a little bit of a jinx. So I almost feel like I want to put the bear to a bull, and then just maybe this market will catch a bid at the end of the day. But we'll see what happens. Every now and then I'll do it, and then you get the reversal. So I'm kind of hoping we'll get a green day tomorrow. But with 20 seconds to go, we'll be dropping the countdown. Again, thank you guys for all the support. We've had a fun afternoon. It's been a fun day. Tomorrow's going to be even better. Get the camera off me.
So it's IFS Global, symbol IFS on the NEO Exchange. So let's get ready to go right now. 8, 7,
6.
Ring the bell. There we go. All right, thank you so much. A great end, and there it is right there. Interfield Solutions listed on the NEO Exchange, symbol IFS. Thank you so much again for coming through. Great job there.
Dane, Steele, and Hal had the moves, to be sure. It was definitely a lot of fun doing that. And look, we're here to have a little bit of fun there, guys. Wow. And you know what? It is a Swiss bell.
Yes.
I just saw someone in the chat say it is a Swiss bell.
It's an official cowbell from Switzerland.
And our producer made a huge deal about it having to be a Swiss bell.
Like an
I'm glad after 2 years someone actually noticed that.
All right. Well, Brendan, we normally wrap it up with Brendan, but he's just chilling out right now. So what a good day it's been here today. Yeah, Prad's over there at the big desk right now, but I don't think we're going to throw it over to him. And we review, how did the market wind up today? What was going on? So we'll look quickly here. The NASDAQ Brendan might have the board at some point. I don't know if he will or not, but the NASDAQ Neil ends the day down 1.21%. And then, of course, the ES following with it. What was the ES? Down a little bit more, I believe. Yeah, 1.5% to the downside on the ES as we breached 4,000, but we're coming back very, very close to that 4,000 level one more time. So, it's been a very, very exciting show. Great way to end it there with the guys from IFS. Check them out on the NEO Exchange, symbol IFS. So, what a great day, man. Lots of action. And guess what? We get to do it all again tomorrow.
You better believe it. We're back. Same bat time, same bat channel. I don't know what time CrowdStrike is, but no movement on it yet. So clearly, we're going to get this one. I actually think they're not going to pull a Palo Alto. How about that? Pan W made a strong move and they had a good quarter, but they're a much more reasonably priced name and they do better. So better valuation and a better company. Is CrowdStrike going to follow suit? I'm not believing it, to be honest. We'll see what happens, though.
Are we going to Brendo, or what do you want? Okay, there he is. What's up?
There he is.
Did you have that board or nah? Too much?
Yeah, we can do it. Here, I'll do it right now.
Red.
There you go.
All right.
Final numbers, pretty ugly, guys. 1.5, 1.7 for the Dow was the worst off when all is said and done. The NASDAQ, 1.25, 1.25. Shout out once again to the Hemrick family. Brothers and father in the building today to ring the bell. So we're happy to have them.
It's so, I'll tell you guys right now, like we have a lot of fun doing the show, but it's really cool when we get like, we get people actually coming in here and getting to experience, have someone ringing the bell or getting to chat.
Last week, right?
And they were just on last week, and whether it's fans, whether it's CEOs, it's just.
The cool thing is they're actually from Vancouver, but reside now in the UAE. So they're back for this conference this week. So great to have them in the building.
Yeah, we got to visit. I'll leave it at that.
I didn't realize you could reside there. But okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, what donation? We got a donation I didn't even notice.
There it is.
Fahad, $1 million.
Oh, for the
Good job,
love of
Fahad. See, now they can do what they want with that as well. That's a problem.
We're gonna have to discuss some employment opportunities possibly opening up here at
habitual
TraderTV
line
Live.
stepper.
But anyways, what a great show. We have a lot of fun here. I want to thank Fahad and Prad for everything that they've added to the show. Mark as well over there. Sneaking suspicion that Mark is behind a lot of this, and then Fahad's just sort of like the face of everything because without Mark, I don't know if we'd be able to do this. So the big shout out to Mark, Rob, Randy, everybody helping in the back as well, Juan and his team, everybody, and shout out to the traders behind us today as well. There they are in the dark. I don't think Mark is there,
lights,
but the other guys are there right now. So, okay, Brennan, a busy day, man. We were here early, but we're going to be here tomorrow. Rise and shine. It is 10 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Powell?
Yep.
Yeah, 10
Yep.
a.m.
Okay, so rinse and repeat tomorrow. Probably limited trading. We'll see what happens there into 10 o'clock. We had some bangers off the bottom. Now the levels are made, although we closed sort of at the lows, kind of. We'll see if that can happen tomorrow again. But hey, it's 4:04. The trade of the day was Google. A good one here. Pretty distracting day, though. Tomorrow should be just as distracting with lots of stuff happening. So for everybody here at Trader TV Live, thanks to Luca, thanks to Sharif, of course. Can't forget them. And thank you to our guy, Bears vs. Bulls. And a big thank you,
Mr. Westermeyer.
8-Ball, man. I
That's
cannot
amazing.
wait.
I'm
I'm not going to look at it. I cannot wait to see
Dude,
some of
I
the
thought
responses.
there'd be a Trader TV logo on it. I didn't think you're going to actually personalize
It's amazing
the
that you're able to
responses.
personalize that.
That's too cool.
We have
That's
two
way
8-balls
too
now.
cool.
We'll get
Way
rid of
too
one. Now we have the official that is in the building. So thank you so much for that. Anyway,
so
stay
awesome.
safe, everybody. Be well. Spend time with your family. And we'll catch you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.